And hello and good evening, a pleasant Thursday evening, everyone. Wherever you are, hope you've had a great day. It's time for us to take the Kodiak for a spin and do what the Kodiak is meant to do. That is, fly from a busy airspace out to somewhere basically in the middle of nowhere, and that's what we're planning on doing today. Let's get started. Hello, propeller heads. Here we go. We are departing Front Range, Colorado, right next to Denver International, and we've got some good air traffic control here, and we've got the old your frame rate's too low. So let's see what happens as far as that goes. But heading up to a small airstrip in east central Wyoming called Wagon Hound, Whiskey Yankee 27. And so it's again, it's kind of highlights the strength of the Kodiak, which is its versatility. Very much a bush aircraft, but also, as you can see with all this glass, it's one that's comfortable flying into and out of. It's actually a slant Gulf equipped aircraft, and I think that's how we filed it today. Even though we're not really going to be flying RNAVs out of here per se, but we you never know. It's a day that could potentially become IFR, so that's what we're going to actually fire up and try to create an IFR flight plan in the G1000. It's been a while there too, so it'd be good practice for us to do that. And yeah, fly up to Wyoming. So I do have the Tundra tires on. I have the cargo pod on. I've got this baby loaded up just to about its maximum weight, so that'll be interesting as well. Okay, let's jump in and get this thing going. I've already done the walk around, the pre-flight, all that good stuff. I do have all of my. Oh boy, that looks like it's on already for some reason. Yeah, I got a few things on here. I don't know. Must not have got it shut down like I thought yesterday, but okay, those look like the only things I need to worry about right there. But anyway, I've got this thing loaded up pretty heavy, and so it'll be fun to test that out, see how it handles as we fly. Like I say, from Colorado here, Front Range to Wagon Hound. Okay, parking brake. Let's make sure that guy's set. Yep. Fuel selectors are on. Power lever idle. Prop lever idle. Fuel cut off. Master battery can come on. Let's see if I do have anything else turned on. I'm not supposed to. I must. I'm getting beeped at already. What do we got? Auxiliary pump is on. That shouldn't be on. Why is auxiliary pump on? Not quite yet. I don't need you. Beacon comes on first. Actually, then auxiliary. Nope. Auxiliary pump does come on after that. Okay, there we go. And ignition switch is going to come on as well. That's right next to it. We're going to go the starter. We'll go low motor. We'll start to spin. We're going to wait for this guy to get 14% or greater. And then we'll introduce the fuel to low idle. There's 14. There's low idle. X-Pilot 747. Hey, yeah, I mean, welcome. Here's the flight route, and you're happy to fly along if you'd like to. I have no idea what the airport Wagon Hound is going to look like for you, but you're more than welcome to come along for the ride. Okay, let me get this thing going here, and I'll post the. So front range. up to Wyoming 27. So there's the route I'm gonna file. I don't know if we'll get it or not. We're gonna check with ATC. But yeah, if you wanna come along, I know for sure we're not gonna be able to get a 747 into Wagon Hound, but yeah, pop in there. It's gonna take us a while to get set up. Be cool to have some company. Okay, back to business here. We've got after start now. We're going to turn the starter switch off. We're going to turn the ignition off. We can do the aux pump is on standby. I have a hard time with that click spot. Aviation bus and auxiliary bus are going to both come on. Turn the generator and the alternator on. And I think we're doing pretty good. Hey, Titanium Druid checking in. Hello, sir. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Front Range Airport in beautiful Colorado. All right. Well, let's do this now. Before we get crazy by putting stuff in the G1000, we better make sure that we're cleared. So, Denver Center 135.60. Oh, I'm having, there we go. 135.60. Wait a second. Com, not nav. 135.60. Check in, see what sender has to say here.
I believe I spoke over somebody. Say again.
Yeah, I've got the airplane side.
Delta 2345, cleared visual approach, runway 35 left. You're going to be following a FedEx MD-11 on a half-mile final now.
Let that guy reply here to center. They've got some new pilots.
Delta 2345, verify cleared visual approach, runway 35 left.
Trying to kind of get the ATC thing figured out here, so we're trying to work with them, and one guy in particular just not replying like he should.
American 833 cross Kremlin at or above 14,000, cleared LDA runway 25 approach.
Kremlin at or above 14,000, cleared LDA 25, American 833.
Let him make that call, I'm sure, one more time with
Delta 2345, Denver Center.
yeah. It's always hard to know if you should jump in or kind of just wait for a little bit. You don't want to, definitely don't want to jump over the top of someone. Plus, I had actually filed the wrong route here, so I'm going to refile my route, give them a second to take a look at that. It's definitely unconventional because we're not flying really between two controlled airspaces per se. Well, two controlled airports. So that's a little different. But we'll be definitely controlled on the way out of here. This is a super busy airspace. So Yellowstone 2 departure, north to Cheyenne, up the Victor 547 to Hokushu, and then up the 547 to IIP, which I don't know what that is. Sure. And then we're going to just take a little short jog over here and see if we can find that backcountry strip. All right, let's check in here. Denver Center, Kodiak 11816.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. On the ground, front range, and with the weather, looking to pick up IFR to Whiskey Yankee 27.
Kodiak 816, Denver Center, climb trying to cross standby number 1.
All right. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if that's the right way to file this. I don't know. I filed definitely out of this space into some other
aircraft unreadable.
airports, but generally speaking, when I'm flying into these backcountry strips, I try to do it VFR as possible. So anyway, we're going to find out together. That'll be okay.
142 Mike Papa, Denver Center, reset transponder, squawk 1407.
Starter is still on. I don't want that. There we go, starter. And yeah. All right, everything
Denver
else.
Center, Allegiant 512 with you, flight level 350.
Allegiant 512, Denver Center, squawk 1410.
1410 for 512.
Number 142 Mike Papa, your radar contact. 65 miles east to Face Center, flight level 300.
Might potentially have
Kodiak 816, clearance available, advise ready to copy.
816 ready to copy.
Kodiak 816, you're cleared to Whiskey Yankee 27 via the Yellowstone 2 departure, Cheyenne transition, then Asphalt. Maintain 10,000, departures with me, squawk 1411.
Cleared to Whiskey Yankee 27, Yellowstone 2 departure, radar vector Cheyenne, then is filed. Will maintain 10,000, squawk 1411, Kodiak 11816.
Kodiak 11816, route back correct, runway 8 for departure, advise ready to taxi with the weather.
We will give you a call for taxi with the weather. We'll expect runway 816. All right, there you go. That answers that question. So let's jump down here. Let's do some flight plan entering.
Radar contact 80 miles east of Tuba City, flight level 350.
So to begin with, I just
Allegiant 512,
out of curiosity, let's see if, whoops.
Delta 2345, winds calm, runway 34 left, clear to land.
Forgive me as I get used to or familiarize myself again with these click spots. CYS. Okay, that's in there. How do I wonder if I can get departure? Let's just out of curiosity. I don't even know really what they have in and how old this AIRAC is, but let's see. Yellowstone 1. Yeah, so as opposed to putting that in, I think we're going to go ahead and just stick with Yellowstone 1. I'll show you what it is. It's really not critical that we have that in per se. It's just this. We'll be cleared. Of course, we're not coming out of Denver. We're coming out of right over here next to them. But essentially, we're going to be departing runway heading, and then we'll be radar vectored up to Cheyenne, right there. Let's just see if there's anything else here. 10,000, I think is, yep. So the narrative on the second page tells us take off all runways, fly assigned heading. Oh, so it's not necessarily even going to be runway heading per se. It's going to be assigned heading, and then they'll give us vectors. So that's really it. It's not a huge, terrible transition. We're going to do the Cheyenne transition. So from over the Denver VOR, we're going to head out on that 349 radial, which is also the Cheyenne 163 radial, and we're going to head in. That's a VORTAC we can track directly in. So just in case we lose comms, that's the basic idea. It's pretty well straight to it, and go from there. So all right, back to the flight planning then. So we will go then. We need to Victor. Ooh, this could be interesting.
Delta 2345, welcome to Denver. Make the next
their way.
right when
There we
able.
go.
And where you
Victor 547. Do I have that? Does not appear that I. Oh, there it is. Victor 547. And we're going to follow that up to Hokzu. We're going to load that.
Okay. Delta
And
2345.
then we're going to also
take
go
a right at either Delta 5
menu.
or Delta 6. And then take a right
Load
on
airway.
Delta.
We're going to stay on the Victor 547 to.
Whiskey Bravo.
Oh, it doesn't have it. Oh, there it is.
And
IIP, India,
Take
India,
a
Papa.
right on Golf to your ramp.
Sweet. And then we're at our We're at our arrival, which is hopefully in here. It may or may not. If it's not, then we'll just end the official part of the controlled part of our flight plan right there at India Papa, and we'll just cancel IFR and we'll go the rest of the way visually. But let's just see, out of curiosity, Whiskey Yankee and a 2-7. You never quite know.
Delta 2345, do you want me to
Flying
just guide you to the
SJ
gate so that'd
or
be a little
Flying
easier
S
for you?
Ranch. I think that's it, honestly.
Taxi
It's
ahead and
it's
take a right
also called the
on
Wagon
Delta.
Hound
It's gonna
Ranch,
be like
but
a 330-degree
um,
right turn. It's gonna be a weird one, but it'll work.
yeah, I think we're there, guys.
And I'll give you a further from there.
Very
here in
good,
a
very
little
good. Okay, transponder code needs to go in
American
here,
33,
and that
winds
was
are
again
calm, runway 25,
1411.
clear to land.
1411. And outside air temp 0, inside air temp negative. Holy cow! -5. Let's get some heat going in this bad boy. Goodness. Turn you on, turn you on. Wow, it's cold in here. Sorry, passengers. Oofta. Okay. Clearance is obtain flight plan entered altimeter. We do have to get the weather. So it's going to give us the Denver ATIS. So we're going to go ahead. We'll just pull that up via text. The Denver ATIS is actually information. Let's see. Information. What are we? Alpha. Winds are 162 at. Oh my goodness. That can't be right. Oh gosh. Okay. I was looking at the time thinking that was the wind. Winds 360 at 4. Visibility is 10 statute miles. We've got broken at 14,000. Overcast 22,000. So yeah, actually the cloud layers above us, we could be VFR if we wanted to today. That's okay. I want practice with the IFR. So we really truly ought to be departing to the north. This is a weird airport. The layout's very strange. Here's what it looks like. We've got runway 8 and 26 that goes here. They do have runway 35 way the heck over here.
Allegiant 512, there's traffic 12
So I
o'clock,
suppose
Control clock and 15 above, should be no factor.
he told us to expect runway 8, so I guess we maybe are okay with the wind at only 4. Yeah, that's probably okay, but I guess the guy could get taxi clear the heck around down here to runway 35. Elevation's 5515, by the way, as we check our altimeter setting. It says 3006. So let's see how close we get on our altitude. 3006. And are we about 55? Actually, 5553 is what they're saying. So yeah, that's a little bit low maybe, but it's not too bad. We're close enough to Denver that that's going to be as good as we can get, I think. All right, heading is going to be runway heading, at least until I'm told different. So the runway heading for runway 8 is 082, or almost 83. So let's spin that around to 83. Okay. This should be pointing, CDI should be pointing, yep, at our first, should be actually pointing at Cheyenne. Now let's get taxied out. Let's see if that doesn't cycle over. If not, we'll make that our active leg and we'll go from there.
And then Delta 2345, you're going to take a left on the next taxiway, which is called Whiskey Bravo.
Boy, I think we're ready to go here. I think taxi lights can come on, and I'll also put the nav lights on. Hang on to for the pitos just for a little bit here, and yeah, I think we're I think we're ready to rock and roll. Endeavor Center, Kodiak 11816, information Alpha, ready for taxi at front range.
November 11816, runway 8, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 8 via Alpha, November 11816.
Number 142, Mike Papa, did you lose your voice?
Okay.
I got it. I just wanted to make
We're
it
gonna
easier.
just
If
taxi out, essentially out to
Number
the right
142,
here.
Mike Papa, clear direct Front Range Airport.
Direct from Frontier Airport. Thank you, November 142.
American 833 clear 25.
American
And spin
833,
around.
welcome to Eagle.
Hello, Thuranda's.
Alpha to your range.
I don't remember if that's wife, girlfriend,
correct.
fiance. She actually has a name, I can't remember, but hello, nice to have you along there, young lady. Let's go fly to Wyoming. What do you say? I believe this is Alpha coming up. And X-Pilot 747, if you ended up flying with us, cool, man. I'll be looking for you. What do I have in terms of flaps? I guess I should check that. Yep, flaps are up. Need a notch of flaps. Titanium Druid, I don't know if you're up for it, but again, just about an hour-long flight here from Front Range up to Wagon Hound. I guess Bar S Ranch is another name for it. At least I hope that's where we're going. Okay, that taxiway looks clear. That side looks clear as well. Down the runway, or excuse me, down the taxiway we go to runway 8. We'll be making left traffic departure here.
And then Delta 2345, if you just continue straight from here on out and you look to the right and the left, you'll see some gates and you can pull into either one of those.
I'm not seeing anybody else here at front range, so maybe X-Pilot 747's planning on joining us in the air. I don't know, but
Yes, I can feel the Alpha.
it's all right either way.
No problemo.
8,000 foot runway shouldn't be too much of a problem, even at altitude, even with all the weight. We are looking at rotation speed at, what do we need here? Sorry, I'm just taxiing off the runway. About 65 knots is rotation speed. Try to climb. Initial climb at 95, then the en route climb is between 110 and 120. It's not much of a climb. We only filed 10,000. We just need to get up above a little bit of terrain here, in between here and Cheyenne, essentially. And there is a little bit of terrain there as we get further north into Wyoming, but we're going to stay, for the most part, to the east of it. A little bit of terrain north of Cheyenne as well, though. Really awesome sound pack in this plane. It's still one I'm learning. I don't have a lot of hours in it just yet, but it scratches a lot of itches for me as far as propeller driven, backcountry friendly, and but also has the ability to, if you need, to file a little more complicated flight plan, even an RNAV flight plan. And just lots of fun. I mean, it's a solid aircraft that makes you work if you intend to fly it correctly, which I don't do a bad job, I don't think, of flying it, but I'm still a little bit clunky when it comes to landing. So we shall see how it goes. I get a little better every time, though, just like anything. All right, windsock really not showing me much.
Kodiak 8116, need a run up.
Oh, that's negative for November 11816.
Kodiak 816, on departure, fly heading 020, winds calm, runway 8, cleared for takeoff.
On departure 020, clear for takeoff, runway 8, Kodiak 816. Alright, so probably tempting fate a little bit by not doing the run up. Alright, so let's set that heading 020. And I also noticed here that I need to set my altitude at 10,000 instead of 9,000. Alright.
United 448,
We're ready.
contact Salt Lake Center 120.27. Have a good day.
Salt Lake on 20.27, United 44.
Condition lever, propeller lever full forward. Want a maximum torque of 1790 and a max RPM of 2200. Kind of keep an eye on that here. Final's clear. I see runway 8. Things spinning up here a little bit. Uh-oh, I lost it a little bit here with the wind, guys. A little skid. Alright, there's rotation, actually through rotation speed. A little too much wear and tear on the tire there. I was doing a lot of slipping and sliding. That's not good, my friends. Yep, tires kicked, fires lit, all that good stuff. Just don't ask me to not squeak the tires on takeoff. Let's get the flaps coming up. And we'll spin around to 020.
Kodiak 816, ident.
Ident Kodiak 816. Alright, click the X pilot and see if he sees us.
Kodiak 816, radar contact a mile north of front range, 6,200.
Altitude checks, Kodiak 816. Alright, so we'll set our en route climb to see if we can get about 110 to 120. Pulling our power back a little bit here. And we should be intercepting that outbound in just a few. We'll hand fly it up here to at least to cruise. It's way too much fun to let the computer have all the...
Kodiak 816, turn left, heading 350, vectors to Cheyenne.
Left turn 350, vectors Cheyenne, Kodiak 816. Alright, so we'll turn here. Might need to peek, those numbers are a little bit small, but I think I see basically where we're at. We spin that around. 350. That'll keep coming a little bit here. Through 7,700. And our speed's getting a little bit low, so I will trim it down, try to recapture that airspeed. Don't have to be in a big hurry, like I said. Not a long flight today. There comes the airspeed again, and that'll lift the nose for us. Just about all the way up to cruise altitude as it is. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to go autopilot mode. Oh boy, that was a jar. It's a little bit of a weird glitch when you engage autopilot. It does throw that nose down just a little bit. We're on Alt S, so it should pick up that level us out by the time we get up there. Oh, I guess as soon as I put it on autopilot, it captured the heading as well. So that's okay. We'll do that. We'll spin back over. And we're climbing right now just fine. We're almost up to 10,000. Yeah, titanium drill, that is really a weird thing, because you think just raise the nose, lower the nose. That's how you control your pitch. And I mean, there's, to an extent, that is still true. If you need to make...
816, clear direct Cheyenne VOR.
Clear direct Cheyenne VOR, Kodiak 816. Alright, so let's spin. What we're going to do now, again, I can't see very well, so I'm going to come down here, and I need to spin my course. And actually, I'm not going to change my... Oh, I just changed my barrow. Hold on here. Back up. Let me get my ducks in a row. Cheyenne VOR is, looking at the charts here, 113.10. Need to have that first of all entered before I go straight to it. Should have had that in already. That was a bad job of me. And then now I can spin my I can never remember if it's the inner or the outer that changes my course. Why is that not changing my course?
Service Center, hello, Southwest 2106. I-4 clearance to Salt Lake City, information Alpha.
Southwest 2106, thanks for Alpha, clear to Salt Lake for departure, Kremlin transition, then is filed, climb via the SID, departures with me, squawk 1412.
Okay, the other thing I need to do is go ahead and get back
Take with Salt Lake City, close 4 Kremlin.
It's 3007.
Southwest 2106, read back correct.
Alright, I
I've
need
got
to
a
get...
choice, either runway 25 or 34 right. What would you like for a runway?
We'll take you 5.
Oh,
I'd expect it.
Alright, so I should be already going direct Cheyenne, although I'm off a little bit here according to that. So let's just do this. Cheyenne's highlighted. Let's click direct. Let's activate, and then let's go ahead, we'll enter nav mode, and that'll take us right to where we need to go. But yeah, so anyway, Titanium Drew, back to your point. It is a little counterintuitive at first, but man, what a difference it makes, especially when you're flying backcountry stuff and you're trying to you're trying to keep both things under control, and you're flying nice and slow, and
some more,
it is
can I get 34
once you get that kind of figured out, boy, that really opens up a lot of different types of landings, no doubt about that.
ABM 2 Mike Papa, descend via pilot's discretion, descend to maintain flight level 190. Let me know when you start the descent.
So I was trying to spin that course knob. Again, forgetting I'm not flying slant alpha, so I'm not spinning this VOR needle around to capture a track. I just need to use my flight plan in order to do that.
1413 UPS 401.
This does, by the way, have synthetic vision. I usually leave that off just because of fear of my frame rates, especially now, but it does come with synthetic vision. I'm also at 10,000 feet. I should. You know what I forgot to do? I never did put the strobes on, and taxi lights can come back off. Pitot heat needs to come on. I should have done the run-up. That's all part of the run-up. Pre-departure checklist. So that's why you have the checklist, right? Okay, well, onward and upward, and again heading to a little backcountry airstrip that I've been working on for a couple of days, called Wagon Hound, and we will find it here shortly. Really, really fun little airstrip. Not much to it. Just kind of set in one of those areas that, you know, there's a rancher. He's actually an out-of-state guy. I think he's from back east somewhere, and he just had this idea of purchasing some property and creating this expanse of a ranch. And it's a working ranch. I mean, they have people there year-round that are working cattle, and it's got a huge equestrian center. He loves his horses apparently, but he also does a lot of things with the local youth, and has youth fishing days and invites kids out to enjoy his property. So a pretty cool deal. He's pretty private, pretty reclusive. I was able to take a tour of it due to a family connection, which was kind of neat one year, and I kind of was always curious about about that airstrip that he has there, and just a pretty cool little place. So you're going to see it here soon. I hope you enjoy. The plan for tonight is to fly out there, and then if we have time and air traffic control, I think we're going to turn back around and fly back to Front Range, and again just kind of get a full range of practice with this thing. Everything from landing on the bush tires out here on the dirt runway to flying back in, and probably try to plan an ILS approach or something, just to again stay current and up to date with what we're doing along those lines.
Center will be back momentarily for food.
Food break. That's okay. All right, checking our pressures, our temperatures again. We don't want to exceed. Really want to. Max power is, they say, about 1670 for torque and 2000 for RPM. So I think we're well within limits there. You know, we're pushing the RPMs, but again, it's ITT is up there a little bit. We could probably pull back a little if we needed to, but I'm okay. We'll just continue to make progress here. We're traveling at just a solid 148 knots. True airspeed's almost 170, so we're making good time. Let's see, I have a couple camera views. Oh boy. Gotta remember what my camera views are here. There's one. Tried to map a few camera views to my flight yoke there. This is farm country, by the way, if you can't tell. This is ortho scenery, so this is legit what you're seeing. You're flying around. There's the Front Range of the Rockies of Colorado. A little bit of cloud cover over there. Yeah, it's pretty wild how big farming still is in the state of Colorado. Yep, and they like their pivot irrigation. It's pretty simple. You can see examples of it down there, you know. Pretty maintenance free and pretty efficient as far as putting water on the ground. The main problem is it just doesn't make complete use of, you know, their sections, but I guess they figure the efficiency of it is worth it. So, and I'm sure part of it too is cost. I think those center pivot units are, I mean, they're not cheap, but as far as irrigation, I think they're fairly affordable. But yeah, it's interesting. Quite the patchwork as you're flying over. Okay, well, I was going to look at flight plan. So Cheyenne coming up here 50 miles, and then we're up. Looks like another 45. Gosh, that just feels small to me tonight. Yep, 45, 13. You know, so about another 100 miles after Cheyenne, roughly, until we're there. And again, we're going to go up to India Papa, which is, I have to look again, it's Hipshire. And when we get up to Hipshire, we're going to have to kind of, probably, I don't know if we'll cancel VFR right there or not, but, or sorry, cancel IFR right there, but we need to take a little bit of a left-hand turn and see if we can navigate our way. There'll be a little bit of terrain, and we'll be right on the kind of the northern edge of the Glendale Reservoir there. We'll follow the Platte River for a little while, and I think this is Wagon Hound Creek right here, so hopefully we'll be able to locate it.
Taxi before right.
Southwest 2106, runway 34 right.
I've flown into it one time before, but it was from the west, actually.
2106.
It was fairly easy to find. And that'll be part of what we use, though, the glass cockpit for, the GPS. You know, just to see if you're flying to a backcountry airstrip that you've never been to before. You know, on a day like today, it's no big deal. It's clear, it's nice, not very windy. But if you're flying somewhere where the weather's a little bit worse and you've got terrain issues, and maybe you're fighting a little bit of late day sun, and you know, it's nice to have
Loud and clear.
nice to have a little bit of help sometimes. It's not the way I prefer to fly it, however, but still, I think it's okay to practice and just stay current with the different ways, the different navigational systems you have in your different aircraft. You know, it's a dangerous place to hang out, Titanium. I've been fighting a little bit of a stomach issue the last couple days. I've got some just terrible food allergies, and every now and again I'll get something that I don't realize that I shouldn't eat, and it generally speaking, it just attacks my stomach, and I'm just sicker than a dog for about 3 days. But so anyway, that was me. I'm kind of coming off that. But last night I just had one of those weird cravings where it was like a super specific type of food, and my wife called me up. She was feeling kind of lazy herself. She's like, you know, I think I'm just going to stop by Arby's on the way home. And I'm like, that was the exact food that I was craving. I'm like, I want a large chocolate shake and nothing else. And that's all I ate all day long, was a large chocolate shake. The sad part is I think I got my normal regular daily caloric intake with that one shake, but yeah. But I was in the same boat as you afterwards, Titanium. It was food coma. Just thinking about it makes me tired. You get that sugar rush, and then you're just ready to be done. So interesting, another I think interesting thing about the Front Range of Colorado. First of all, it's growing like crazy. Um, it is a goose hunter's paradise, and as you can imagine, I mean, look at all these fields, and so the geese winter down here, just by the hundreds of thousands, all the way from way north up in Canada, and it's just incredible. I don't hunt geese that much anymore. It's been several years since I have, but
Radio check.
every time we
Loud
drive
and clear
through,
on me.
especially
Just fine.
this time of year, they are everywhere. And so
Southwest 2106, 36.
I always wonder what they do to
Southwest
kind
2106, radar
of
contact,
keep
maintain
them
flight level 320.
away from
Thank you,
the
320,
from all the
Southwest
different
2106.
airports that they have down in this area, because I mean they've got obviously DIA, but there's there's Front Range Airport, there's an airport just north in Fort Collins, there's one in Greeley which is just north. I mean there's a lot of busy airports around here, and I wonder what they do to keep the birds away. I have no idea, because a full-size greater northern Canada goose would do a little damage to your plane. I don't care what you're flying. Alright, I zoomed out way too far here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So there you are. We're making good progress to Cheyenne. Capital of Wyoming, by the way, if you didn't know that. That's on a geography quiz coming up later on, so memorize it. Titanium Druid. Ooh, pork tenderloins in your own sauce vide. Nice. Pork is one of the meats that I still can eat, so I take full advantage of all pork-related products. Sounds a lot better than the tomato soup I had. Although I did make a killer grilled cheese sandwich. It wasn't a total loss. I find just
Kodiak 816, Cheyenne altimeter 3002.
Cheyenne altimeter 3002, Kodiak 816. I find the key to a good grilled cheese sandwich, well, two things. Number one, thick layer of hand-cut cheese. But number two, just a tiny sprinkling of garlic on the top of the bread. Just gives it a little something. Yeah, I mean, toasted cheese, tomato soup, it's an all-American combination. It's not like it's not like I'm suffering here, but it's not pork tenderloins good.
United 638, reback correct.
I don't know about you. I don't know where you live, Titanium, but around here it's cold, dark, and you just kind of feel like sometimes you just want something warm, just like soup. Hey, Jet Pilot Cinnamon checking in. Hello. Oh, Pittsburgh. Yep. So yeah, you smell what I'm cooking. You fight the same winter that I fight, if not worse. Jet Pilot Cinnamon, how are you doing? Good to have you along. Looking forward to the upcoming fly-in. By the way, if you are interested, there is a fun fly-in sponsored by the Virtual USA Flying Club down in this neck of the woods, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Mike? I mean, it's Colorado. Am I thinking about the correct one? I know you've got a couple that you're planning. I'm looking right now. Looking on the events page. No, this is the Bingingham fly-in. That's right. So Bingingham is coming up here, and that's right, because we're worried a little bit about the weather. So, yeah, so that's up in the New York ARTC area, and Mike is not only hosting it, but he's going to be one of the air traffic guys. So you'll have some good ATC coverage up there. That'll be a lot of fun. And then the Colorado one is actually coming up on the 28th of this month, so right toward the end of the month. And airports to be determined on the day of the event, so they're leaving us hanging there. Yeah. That'll be fun. Good group.
Denver Center, very good evening to you. United 735 IFR Los Angeles, information.
Weather will dictate that, yep, as always,
Yeah,
right?
735 unable.
The GA world is
Yeah, 735 heavy Denver Center. You're cleared to LA, Connor 5 departures.
always dictated heavily by the weather. Did you guys decide? I know you've been hemming and hawing and going back and forth about what you're doing on Saturday. Did you decide if you're going to let everyone just kind of determine their own weather, BYOW, I guess, or are you gonna say, hey, let's all try to fly with this type of weather?
In the box for United 735.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go. I think most people will find something that's realistic, but at the same time not radically different from everybody else. So you're not going to have people requesting, approaches to the opposite side of the airfield. I think the main thing is just going to be just trying to manage the winds a little bit, but the direction of the wind I don't think anybody will probably mess with.
Was that Kodiak 816?
Yeah.
2106.
That was 2106. Yeah, that's fine.
I think you're right. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
Denver Center, good evening. Southwest 5330 IFR.
You're going to have those people that fly real weather, real time, no matter what anyway, so you let them do their thing, and then you're going to have other guys, kind of like me. Like right now, I'm not flying real time. I'm flying real time weather, but I wanted some daylight out because I wanted to see what the airstrip looked like on approach, and so yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. It's to each their own. It'll be a fun event regardless. Can you do ATC with only one arm there, Mike? I mean, or do you have some sort of adaptive device hooked up? Just kidding, man.
Runway 25, call for taxi, United 1776.
DBM 2 Mike Papa, continue your descent down to, let's do 1-2000.
All right, well, the winds have been fighting us, I think, pretty steady. That slowed our progress a little bit here, guys. Now they have shifted, though. They currently are 200 at 7, so they're actually giving us a little bit of a hand, yeah, and our airspeed up just a skosh. I think I can turn the wind on here. Yep, option 2. There we go. Should have had that on to begin with.
Dallas Fort Worth. Good evening.
Good evening. Delta 8412, you cleared to Dallas. Staker 4 departure. Piper transition. Then
all right.
Climb via
almost 9 miles to Cheyenne, and then again we make a little bit of a turn. We're needing about another 100 miles or so to get out there to Wagon Hound Airport.
Delta 8412, you're back correct. Expect runway 25 for departure. Call me ready to taxi.
Delta 8412, thanks.
Delta 8412, sorry, let's do runway 8 actually.
Runway 8 for Delta 8412.
Denver Center, United 481.
A bit of a weird split cloud layer here.
Yeah, 481 Denver Center, you clear to LAX, counter 5, then as filed. Climb via the SID, squawk 1421.
Clear to LAX, the counter 5, departures then as filed. Climb via SID, squawking 1421.
All right, so we are, there's the city of Cheyenne, there's Interstate 80 and Interstate 25. There's the Cheyenne Regional Airport. And I used to have a little guy football team that practiced right on the end of that runway out there. There's a cemetery right out there, and it actually has an old practice field. be hard to see, but that little white area out there, that's half of an old football practice field. And so we used to, my first job, I was an elementary football coach. We had our flag football practices out there, and it's hard enough to keep the attention of, 4th and 5th grade kids as it is, but try doing it with the C-130 coming in for approach. Pretty dang amazing. Didn't think about it much at the time. That's mid-90s. It was just kind of, it was kind of there. So that's what we did. But now that I look back at it,
Mike Papa, are you okay with
kind of a
accepting
cool,
the ILS 35 in the
cool
front right?
deal. Okay, so we're about to hit that VOR, and then looks like we've got a little bit of a right-hand turn here.
All right, expect the ILS 26.
There. That'll get us
Thank you very much.
on the Victor 547 to Hokshu. And this is one of those places where we need our 10,000 foot planned routes. May seem kind of funny, but we actually do have some altitude in this sector. It's all over here. Like I said, we're going to stay to the east of the tallest stuff, but there are some 9,400 foot peaks over here. So the MSE is just that, 9,400, I guess. You're supposed to have, what, 500 foot clearance? I'm sorry, so that'd make 8,900 would be the tallest peaks that we have off to our left. But anyway, this is why we are at 10,000, even though it seems kind of flat and featureless. Now we will get also a few more terrain issues as we get a little bit closer to Wagon Hound. Let's see, let me pop over here to the World VFR. So yeah, we pretty well follow the mountains all the way up here. This turns into the Laramie Range, Medicine Bow. This might be the Medicine Bow Range. Does it say it? No, Laramie Range. Yeah, Medicine Bows are down here a little bit. But anyway, again, it all stays pretty well to the west of us. But when we make our turn, we're going to start to see it come in. And Wagon Hound is, I think, every bit of 5,000 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5,470. So we'll have to lose a little bit of altitude here. Probably when we get, I don't know, they may give it to us on our way up here to Hipshire. If not, we'll for sure start to give up some altitude when we make our turn. And at 15 miles, that might not be enough to lose 4,000 or so, 5,000 foot. But we got a ways to wait on that. We might. I'm curious to see what he actually would do for us here. He's probably going to ask us for an approach request. It might be easier just when we kind of see the Glendale Reservoir to cancel our IFR, and then we could start our descent here and be a little bit more, gradual about it. We could, theoretically, if let's say we canceled here kind of at the southern end of the reservoir, we could just kind of cut straight across and probably find it okay. But I'm actually curious to see how my GPS does, how close it gets me. I think that'll be the plan. I think we'll cancel our IFR there just at the south edge of the Glendale Reservoir. We'll start our descent and see if we can't figure out where the heck we're going after that. Okay, something else that I probably could do. Feels a bit dark in here. Guess I could turn my instrument switch panels up just a bit. Yeah, just to give it a little bit of an illumination, just to help me out, help my old eyes out. So the Wagon Hound airfield, by the way, it's runway 26 and 08 is the orientation on that. So pretty well east-west
Alaska 1423 Denver Center, ident.
running orientation. I already said 5,470. It is 3,100 feet long.
Alaska 1423.
So nice and long.
Thank you. Your radar contact. 85 miles east of Rapid City, flight level 340. 1423.
I filed an alternate airport at Casper, Wyoming, which is about 30 miles
DBM2 Mike Papa, maintain that heading until you intercept the
or
localizer.
so,
If you
maybe a
don't
little
have it out
further
there,
to the west. There actually is a Converse County airport that's just north that I could also take if I needed to.
Delta 8412, ready for taxi.
Who was that?
Delta 8412.
Yeah, our friend Kenny Monster checking in. Busy night on Twitch? Yeah, who else? I see Brad M is going. Oh, Sim Caesar's going. He's got the Fly J Sim 272. Huh. How about 727?
Number 2 Mike Papa, cleared.
Brad's in the Falcon 50.
8000, cleared ILS runway 26.
Another friend of mine, a live fly guy. I don't know what he's doing. Short stream, he said. And Alan S. Oh, he's in the Skyhawk. Yep. So that you're right. It is. It is a busy night. Those are my friends that are on. Sorry, go ahead for 816.
Kodiak 816, I've got a question for you. Where is Whiskey Yankee 27 in relation to Hipshire?
Hipshire is just to the northeast, 15 miles. On a 237 heading. And actually, I think as we get close to the Glendale Reservoir, I think we're going to just cancel our IFR just to make it a little easier for you.
Alrighty, will you keep me posted?
Unless you're just dying to guide somebody into Wagon Hound private. No response. I think he's busy enough he probably would appreciate just one less aircraft to worry about. Like I said, I don't generally think that you have a lot of IFR arrivals into little backcountry strips like this anyway, so.
5330, disregard runway 25, taxi via Charlie Sierra Golf.
So we'll get up here again, Hawk Zoo, and you can see there is Glendale Reservoir. So we'll go ahead and we'll get up here. Looks like there's a waypoint there about Poldy. It's part of that Victor 547, but as soon as I see Glendale Reservoir, I think that's when I'm going to go ahead and just cancel IFR. It's a beautiful day. It doesn't look like the weather's turning up here. In fact, it's just getting clearer the further north we get. So.
Do you see the southwest? I believe it's to your right, taxiing west on Charlie Sierra.
You can tell you're getting up into Wyoming because it's a lot more arid, a lot tougher to farm. The ground is every bit as good as Colorado. It's just so much more difficult to get water to where you need to be. So you just don't see as much. You see a fair amount still. We're a very agriculturally driven, farm and ranch driven state still, but it's a lot to bring water to some of these really arid places.
Southwest 5330, squawk 1416.
Getting kind of used to seeing the pilot over there, and the other thing is, if you, let me see if I can do this right. If you get far enough over here, yeah, the other dude pops in.
Southwest 5330, inverse Hunter.
Whoa, that's a super ultra close up there.
5330, squawk 1416.
I think Thoranda did a terrible job of modeling this guy. He doesn't look a single thing like me.
I put my flight number into the transponder, so let me change that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to embarrass you.
There's the happy couple.
Myself, that's fine.
My wife would be pretty happy if I had a Kodiak Quest. I could fly all over the place. Yeah, Colorado was a part of that Dust Bowl, yeah, back in the dirty 30s, and yeah, they learned the hard way, man. They plowed up as much of that topsoil as they could to plant crops, and boy, oh boy, the drought hit and the winds blow down there, and yeah, it was nasty.
I guess that's a step in the right
Farther south, I think, was maybe, well,
We'll have to see how you do.
the further south and the further east you get in Colorado, the more of that you see. But yeah, quite a
Well,
time.
then I'll be officially more in the air in my sim than I was in real life. So.
That's a burn to yourself.
It's a burn to riddle, as should be.
So anyway, interesting country though. If you ever have a chance to visit, definitely worth it. That's the town of Chugwater, right there. Famous for the Chugwater chili cook-off every summer.
Landed 1776. Oh, you're on the south side of Alpha. Southwest, excuse me, United 1776.
This time of year it looks actually much different than right now. Much whiter.
Alpha Sierra Golf to runway 25, United 1776.
So Sim Caesar just ended. Sync rate rated him. Now I'm here. Yeah. Who knew Thursday night could be such a busy time.
2106 is back online.
I kind of pick Thursdays and Tuesdays because they tend to be the days that feature those midweek GA events. Now, of course, this week really it didn't happen that way, but
Delta 8412, stay altitude.
for the most part,
8412,
it's like Boston does a fly in on Tuesdays every now and again, and it just seems like Seattle does something on Thursday. So it's a pretty good midweek break. Today you just got me.
Understood, Southwest 2106, I am back with you.
Lovely.
Denver City United 1613, ready to copy IFR Los Angeles.
So I'm doing some work down here in this part of the country with some other backcountry strips. Wyoming is a pretty rich state when it comes to those types of airstrips. It's a little different from Idaho in that there's not as many mountain kind of, game and fish or Forest Service strips cut out. It's more ranch strips and things like that, but still interesting, and it's been fun. I've done recreated I don't even know, over 20 now, and that's got me about halfway to, it's not halfway of everything that's available, but halfway to the ones that I think are most interesting, and this is one of them. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of in the foothills, but not really up in the mountains. There's, in fact, there's really only a couple that are like right there, like right proper mountain airstrips,
Takeoff runway 8, United 638.
That was 5330. Do you want to depart or do you want to wait for the rest of the crew?
As much as
I don't know if I'm seeing water over there, if that's just cloud cover on the ground. That shouldn't be. We're still a little south of
Hold short 25, south.
Glendo Reservoir.
Denver Center to Schneider 1979 Heavy. Initial contact with the L2370.
That's Laramie Peak, right over there, the high points. That'll be that'll be visible to us as we make our approach into Wagon Hound. Well, it won't be visible to us because it'll be off to our south, but it's when you're there in the airspace, you can see it as a little bit of a reference point. Kind of a cool visual. All right. We do have a little body of water coming up here. What is this little lake? I honestly don't know. I'm gonna have to look. Maybe it's just the Gray Rocks Reservoir. Okay. Just south of the town of Guernsey, and a little bit east of the town, northeast of the town of Wheatland. Camp Guernsey is a military base in Wyoming. It's a Army National Guard training facility. It's pretty country, kind of badlands and lots of this kind of stuff. Fort Laramie is maybe another one that you've heard of. That's down close to Guernsey. And it actually is a Class Delta airspace here. If I would get a little closer to Guernsey, but this Victor 547 takes us just a little bit to the west. So
that's probably because
we don't have to worry about it. Have to worry about if we were VFR, we wouldn't have to worry about a check-in.
You're coming to 788. You're in airspace 2280.
Center up our heading bug here. And what are we looking at here? To Jeezy. 9.5 miles. And there's Poldy. We thought that might be a pretty good spot to cancel. I think that's going to get us up there close to. That's actually even a little bit far. That's about the middle, I think, of the reservoir. So. Yeah, in between Jeezy and Poldy.
All right, do Mike Papa in that case. Taxi straight.
That's where we'll cancel and we'll be on our own. We'll start to descend.
United 638, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Passing 8100, climb 360.
The Lake of Glendo, or the Reservoir of Glendo, has one of the airfields I'm working on, Thomas Memorial, 76 Victor, if you ever want to check it out. And then just north of Wagon Hound, where we're going, is another airfield I'm working on called the Chamberlain Brothers Ranch. It's Wyoming 66. And that's a challenge to find. If you look on Sky Vector, it's a little bit misleading as far as where it actually is. And then there's another one called the Underwood 44 Whiskey Yankee that I'm going to work on as well. So just in this little neck of the woods, this tile alone here, as it was the 43107. There's a bunch of cool little airstrips. Robbins is down here, and that's kind of on the other side. Whiskey Yankee 16, kind of on the other side of these mountains that you see right here. It's not a huge mountain range. You jump right over the top of that, get into the Shirley Basin there, and so there's a lot of cool backcountry opportunities up here. And again, it's just different. If you don't think, if you're okay with it not being carved out of a forest on the side of a mountain in Idaho, there's lots of different opportunities. Kind of like Utah, really. Utah has all those really cool like canyon land strips that are up on plateaus, and it's really awesome. But it's just different from Idaho. Stuff we're doing up in British Columbia, again, more like next to lakes and stuff, and yeah, you're up in those Rockies there, the coastal mountains, but you're not. It's just a little bit different. It's like every area has its own unique twist on backcountry flying. It's pretty cool.
Denver Center, Alaska. 1423 on request.
All right, so
Alaska
on our way
1423, what
to
do you mean, are you pretty close?
Poldy. So again, we're going to keep our eyes peeled when we see the Glendale Reservoir. I think that's when we will go ahead and cancel. We'll stay on the route here. We'll let the GPS continue to guide us, but just because out of curiosity, I want to see how it does. But then we can kind of get out of this guy's hair. Although he's not slammed, I mean, I think he'd be okay with us. But I also understand you got one Yahoo in the Kodiak up farting around in the mountains of Wyoming, and 20 other planes trying to land in DIA, or some in DIA and some in Colorado Springs and some in Pueblo. And
Delta 1782, contact Salt Lake Center, 120.27.
you always have a few guys trying to go to Aspen and Eagle County, and if you're the only
Delta 1782,
you're the only show in town, it can get a little bit tricky.
Good day.
All right, there I think is the outskirts of this reservoir. It's a pretty big reservoir.
120.27, we'll see you.
Yep. Delta 1905,
That actually might be the Guernsey Reservoir.
Frequency change approved. Good day.
Now that I look at that, so I think we're going to hold on here. It's just another spot where the North Platte River has been dammed up just for some communities, and that's where the bulk of irrigation comes from around here. Yep, that's too small. That's got to be the Guernsey Reservoir.
1185 clear to Salt Lake foot 4 departure, RLG transition.
There's a little bit of a restricted area here
Departure with you, squawk 1424.
as well that I assume is used for the Camp Guernsey
Expect 34 right, we'll call for taxi. That's 1185.
aircraft to do their thing.
Yes, sir. Southwest 5330, we're ready to go. That's 25.
Southwest 5331's calling runway 25, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 25, Southwest 53.
One of the cool things about living in this area is you're also fairly close to an Air Force base in South Dakota. And for the life of me, now I can't remember. I lived in Rapid City for a year, but anyway, Ellsworth Air Force Base. And they love, I mean, I don't know that they were from Ellsworth, but there's enough of these bases around here, and they love to come into the mountains and do training exercises. I mean, obviously, you know, with the war in Afghanistan, you know, that's pretty important skill to know how to fly the mountains. But I remember one time we were fishing a small lake called Lake of the Woods, and the next thing we know, these two stealth bombers came flying by just barely over treetop level. It was the coolest thing I've seen probably to date, and the neatest thing about them was how quiet they were until they were just right on top of you. So not only are they, you know, the stealth technology obviously makes them very, very difficult to track via radar, but just even to the ear, you know, you would think you'd hear a plane like that goes as fast as that does, and you'd think you'd hear it from a long way off. We didn't. They were right on top of us. That was pretty awesome. Fishing was good that day too, so it was like a double. It was a win-win. Well, Kenny, I think we actually got a little bit of a break. I mean, it's been like it's been in the teens or so, and it gets down below 0 every night. But we were predicted a week ago, they were thinking we could be 20 below for most of this week, and we haven't luckily had that. So I think we've dodged a little bit of a bullet there. We got a little bit of snow yesterday, and that was about it. Not barely enough to cover the ground, and then the sun came back out, and it was halfway nice. So I'll take it.
Southwest 5330, radar contact, climb and maintain flight level 340.
Yep, that's definitely the Guernsey Reservoir. So we have a little bit of work to do here, maybe a little bit more up in this area. According to the G1000 there, the MFD, I think we're just about getting there though. Speaking of that, let's just take a look here. Yep, amps, volts, good. Fuel quantity is looking good to get us at least into Wagon Hound. Pressures and temps have all remained steady.
I know. Roger, we'll continue up here at 5036.
Denver Center, here Canada 788, still with you, I never left.
All right, so again, just if you joined us a little bit late, we are just about right here. We've flown north from Front Range Airport, which is just to the east of, this is Denver International right here. Flew up radar vector to Cheyenne.
All aircraft on the ground at Denver, go to frequency 120.39.
Oh, they're picking up some ATC, cool. I bet he's going to enjoy that. Then we kind of came up here towards the Glendo area, or sorry, the Guernsey, Camp Guernsey area. Huckzoo, we've been on the Victor 547, and we're just about to get up to, well, Glendo area, Glendo Reservoir. Then Hipshire is when we make the final turn coming in here, and that's what we're gonna go ahead and cancel IFR here down, like I say, in just a couple of minutes actually. Oh man, and that type of snow to try to shovel out is the worst, because it gets that hard packed crust on it, and you're chopping through. You're not shoveling anymore. You're just like out there trying to make an ice fishing hole, taking big blocks. You can almost make igloos out of that stuff. Well, where are you, Glendale Reservoir? You're too big to miss. We're still not quite there, I guess. No, we should be actually. We're right. Maybe we went past and I wasn't paying attention. Huh. Well, we're going to give a call. We'll go ahead. I think we can cancel. And Denver Center, Kodiak 816. We'd like to cancel IFR.
Kodiak 816, IFR cancellation received. Squawk and maintain VFR frequency change approved. The nearest altimeter I have is 3004.
Squawk maintain VFR 3004. Appreciate the help, and we'll talk to you soon. Kodiak 816.
Peace out, man.
All right, so here we go. Over to Unicom. We're going to transponder VFR. All right, we're gold. And the next thing I want to do here is I want to start to bring my altitude down here. So I think 6,500 is a good. I think that's a pretty good altitude to try to hit. Pretty realistic here as well. And I actually don't need to be descending at 800 feet a minute. I think we'll just do it more of a 500 foot. We'll kind of keep an eyeball on our airspeed as well. No need to get too crazy fast here. Try to keep it at about between 150 and 160, I think would be good. And what do we have? If we go to, let's go to COM 2. Let's put 12200. Let's see what we do have for an ATIS. Oh, that's in already. How do I turn COM 2 on? Right there. Maybe not. COM 2 mic. Nope. Alrighty then. Let's put it in up here. Let's see if we get anything. 12200. That's our default for active sky, by the way. It gives you the nearest weather. Ah, 122.0.
Kilo Delta Golf Whiskey Airport information Zulu 0053 Zulu weather wind 081 at 10 visibility 10 sky clear temperature -1 dew point -9 altimeter 2997 advise on initial contact you have information Zulu.
Okay, well that's pretty good information. That tells us that we need to be landing to the east, which runway 8 then becomes what we're looking for. There's that turn at Hipshire, and we're down through 8,700 feet. We've got 15 miles to go down, another 2,000 feet to get to pattern altitude, which I think is going to be more than doable. And plus the fact that we're gonna have to enter, you know, I think left traffic for runway 8 would be appropriate, but we can get a good bird's eye view of what's going on here and see if we can't pick up the airfield here. And I'm just going to let this guy, like I say, we're just going to let him fly us that way. And I'm just, if nothing else, I'm just a little curious to see, you know, how close it gets us to that little tiny backcountry airport. Just your basic kind of turf combination grass gravel. Like I say, it's nice and long, so even though we're a little on the heavy side, we should have plenty of room. I am going to go ahead and turn my taxi and landing lights back on. Let's just go through real quick the descent checklist. Altimeter set, frequency tune, heading set. I do need to start slowing down here just a little bit. Define long, okay. It is, I think it's every bit of 3,000. Is that what I said? Yeah, 3,100, which is, you know, for the Kodiak, that's plenty long. More than half a mile. So we'll overfly. And when we get the airport inside, I'll actually kind of take the autopilot off. Wagon Hound Creek it looks a lot like this type of deal. It just kind of winds up, and then the airfield's kind of on the north side. But I think we have to go up just a little bit further. I could be wrong, but again, there's Laramie Peak, kind of giving us a little bit of a reference point there. And we're doing really good with the descent rate here. We'll get down to 6,500. We'll level off. And then it'll be just a matter of, again, just locating the airfield, entering left-hand traffic pattern. What runway or what airport are you talking about there, Kenny? That sounds like a ton of fun. That's the kind of thing I like to do. Okay, I think I may see. Here's a little windy Wagon Hound Creek. So I would anticipate our airport kind of being, well, it's got to be right in front of us. Yeah, absolutely. Post away, man. If it's a backcountry, well, not really backcountry, but if it's a turf airstrip, it's this is the place for it. All right, I do think this is a little, I think I put these trees in there. I think this kind of looks like my handiwork. So we'll get the speed down to about 100 and so 100 or so, I guess. 110 we can put a notch of flaps in, so we will. And that'll kind of be a decent speed to kind of run up and over the top. Yeah, this road I believe comes in, these two roads kind of converge, and we're in here somewhere, I believe. I believe. If you run into the mountains, you've gone too far. This is the, actually I think this is, yep, there it is. All right, so we found it. Right there's the runway, there's the hangar. So we're going to just come out here, like I say, make a little left traffic, and we'll be good to go. Let's get heading 260. That Wagon Hound traffic, Kodiak 816 on the left downwind for runway 8, Wagon Hound. And I'm going to flip over the CDI actually here. Oops. And spin this guy. Now I can spin the course around, maybe. May not be worth it. Okay, is that it? Yeah, alright. This needs to be 260 and 08. So yeah, I was a little off. I'm not quite on the downwind, am I? Is this that's not even considered down base winding. I was kind of like down cross winding. That was not good. Okay, there we go. I've got the airport site way out there. Not the tightest pattern I've ever flown, but that's okay. Second notch of flaps coming in. Let's get that airspeed down just a little bit here. Wagon Hound traffic, Kodiak 816, left base runway 8, Wagon Hound. I'm Kodiak there, Wagon Hound. I don't need the flight director anymore. We can start the descent here. I did gain a little altitude there accidentally. Probably a good thing I'm a little wide on my pattern so I can bleed that off. Alright. And yeah, I'm a long way out there, but that's okay. Yeah. Right there it is. I think we're going to be fine. Alright, prop and condition levers full forward. Landing taxi lights on, altimeter set. Wagon Hound traffic, Kodiak 816. Turning final runway 8, Wagon Hound. Alright, here we go. Let's see, I got the Cargo bay on. Like I said, I'm loaded down pretty heavy. I'm actually hopeful that that'll make me a little more stable. When I was coming in light the other day, final notch of flaps, looking for about 75 on the final here. I was coming in the other day on a little bit on the light side, and I was getting tossed around like I was in the turbo aero or something. It was wild. Alright, we don't look too bad. Maybe a little bit left. Correct that. Here's that thing we're doing with the controlling the pitch with the throttle. It's pretty good airspeed, I think. Whoop, kind of winding and bobbing and weaving here. I ended up to the left slightly. Alright, let's just hold her there. And we're down. Alright. We go to beta. Watch how fast this thing stops. It's just crazy. Alright, we're there, dudes. Yeah, Kenny again. I don't have that super fancy prediction rate thing. Remember, it's yes or no or number of bounces. And I think that was might have been a one bouncer. We'll watch the replay and just take a look. Taxi over here, park on the little cement pad. We'll do a quick turnaround. Kind of take a look here. I'd like to fly back, honestly. I think it'd be kind of fun to do. Alright, so we're going to pull that back. Let's set the parking brake real fast. Let's disconnect from VATSIM. Let's do Altar, I think. Is that what it is? Yes, Altar. And back it up a little bit here. Well, what do we need? We turn final. There we are. There we're final. Alright, let's take a look-see. There's the runway view. Okay, I think I've got... Flaps are extended. Pretty good descent profile. Not too bad. A little gust of wind here and there. A little bit of an early flare. Oh boy, yeah, big flare. Yeah, bounced the front wheel. Yeah. Oh no, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so let's take a look while I'm taxing in. We got, this is the Wells Municipal Airport. Okay, very cool. 68 Yankee. Turf in good condition. Yep, 2,900 foot. Very cool, man. Very cool. got to have a look at that, right? I mean, can't not look at Kinney's airport here. All right, where are we at? Uh-oh. There it is. Look at that. Yeah, heck yeah, man. That's perfect, dude. Got just a little bit of a few hangars and such over here, a little FBO or something. Come in, get yourself a Shasta strawberry soda. And got the little defined area there, but yeah, otherwise it's pretty well. Okay, cool, man. Little town of Wells or something. I like it. I like it. Hey, all right. Well, yeah, see, I'm coming back your way, man, because that was fun, and I appreciate the help, and I hope you understand it. I just was trying to kind of get out of your hair because it looked like you had plenty to do. So, but I'll be back. I look forward to working with you here in about 45 minutes. So let's change this around then. We're going Wyoming 27 to Kilo Golf Foxtrot Tango. Whoops. Wait a second. Front range. What'd I do here? TF. Front range. Oh, good lord. KT. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to look. I'll look at my TF. FTG. Foxtrot Tango Golf. There we go. Front range. So, I mean, essentially, I think we're just going to... Ooh! So, what Yancey doesn't understand is I'm looking for stuff just like this because I'm doing a series called Nowhere Fast in the 152, and part of that is seeing all these little out of the way places that people know about that are really, really cool that I would love to see. I'd love to visit. I'm not afraid to spend a little time working on scenery if it does not exist. So, all right, so this is called True Grit South. All right, so this is going to be one that might be a little tough to find here. True Grit South. 38, 3.7. Did I miss? Must have missed something. 10.2, 107, 58, 40. Nope, that's it. That's it. Hey, Downwind Sim. Going for Employee of the Month this month, I see. You're working about 60 hours a day. I'm getting to know some new airports around here, my friend. Some different places to fly, and this one looks like it might need the Downwind Sim binoculars to locate. This is called the True Grit South Airport. I'm not seeing it, but I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep this up here and check it out later. Okay, I want to get back. I want to head back towards Front Range Airport. So let's get back in the flight planning mode here. We flew from Front Range, Colorado, which is down here near the Denver International Airport, up to Wagon Hound backcountry strip, and now I'm trying to plot a course back and see if I can't use a little bit of the glass cockpit to make my way back into the Denver airspace. It's a little bit of a refresher course, I guess, on how to actually put in a flight plan and all that good stuff. I'm just going to kind of try to track my way back to Cheyenne because I got a feeling that, yeah, there we go, Ram 7. Now that's taking me into, is it really going to take me all the way over there? It can't be. Front Range, I got to have something better than that. Arrival procedure, come on. Talk to me here. Dandy 9, that's kind of coming. Yep, that's over there. Oh, that's going. There's Front Range going south of Front Range. I don't want that one. Lander 9. Let's see. That's I think that actually comes in. Yeah, there's Front Range. That actually comes from the northeast, a little further than where we are. Yeah, if we picked up Gillette, we'd have to kind of come over here and pick that up. That's a little out of our way. Okay, we'll keep looking. There's got to be one here. Lark's 1. Lark's 1. Oh, that's coming up from the southwest. The Powder 9. That's coming also from the southwest. Yep, there we are. Denver International Front Range, so we don't want that one. Yeah, we should be able to pick one up. If nothing else, maybe I'll get in the air and I'll just start looking. Quail 9. Quail 9, that's coming from the southeast. Might be looking all day long here. Rams 7. Maybe we're going to have to go over there. There's Cheyenne. Yeah, it's kind of saying you got to go over here, my friend. And then down. Which, you know, maybe that's just the best way to go because that kind of gets us in the same flow as everybody else. Let's go direct to the airport. Okay, so I will do that then. Very cool. I'll go Cheyenne, and then we'll just file direct. Thanks for the help there, Denver Center. Appreciate that. Okay, let me get this out of here. Let's put things in. I gotta change this around here. Let's reconnect. We're the Kodiak. I've been disconnected. I know. I want to get reconnected. Oh, replay mode still. I thought I got out of that. I guess I didn't. Maybe I'm out of it now. All right, where are you? X-plane. Okay, apparently I don't know how to get out of replay mode. Is it Alt-R again? What is it? X there. Ooh, thank you, my boy. Ha ha ha. Special delivery that Downwind Sim can appreciate. A little Dairy Queen. All right, so now I'm paused. Why am I paused? Replay mode. I don't want to be in replay mode. Okay, I think I'm out of replay mode. Yep. M&M Blizzard. Small M&M Blizzard. All right, back to business. You guys are distracting me. There we go. Okay, flight plan. We're going to swap this. I'm going to say, heck, I don't even know where I'd go as an alternate. Where would I go? I'm not even going to file that because it's nice weather. We're going to be airborne here in no more than 15 minutes. And it is about the same on the way down. File, boy. I'm going to file 9 or 1,000. And there's our route. We're still slant Gulf. We're not heavy. File. Squawk and Chuck. I'm ready to go flying. Well, what do we think fuel-wise here, guys? I think we're still okay. Okay. Let's do this. Landing lights can come off. Park and brake disengaged. Taxi, taxi, taxi. Titanium Druid, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Have yourself an awesome night. Always great to talk to you. See you on Saturday. I think I'm going to do the Frozen up in Minnesota event. I'm going to break out the Captain Sim 727, so if you're around, stop in and say hey. All right, back down to the end of runway 8. Oh, crud. You know what I forgot to do? I'm so used to flying VORs, I forgot I got to put the flight plan into the G1000. I am departing from Whiskey Yankee 27. If you feel like spawning in and hopping out, hopping down to Front Range with me, you can. I'm going to need just a minute anyway to get my flight plan in the G1000. to get my flaps back up here to the first notch. Yep, that's where it is. Wagon Hound, that is correct. And I would, I do have scenery I could share with you, but at this point in time, I'm sure you just hop in there and it'll be just as fun. All right, I'm gonna get turned around. I will fiddle around with the flight plan here real quick. Maybe let Downwind Sim get himself loaded up. Oh, okay, lurking tonight, cool. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to menu, let's spin down here. Delete flight plan. Okay, so we are going to, I'm not going to be able to show you this while I do it, I apologize, but you'll have to take my word for it. If I can find my sky vector. Where are you, sky vector? I don't know. What happened to sky vector? Oh, there it is. Got minimized down there and I couldn't find it. Okay, so on sky vector we are going to, we're going to put, it'll be hipster. I keep wanting to say hipster. India, India, Papa. I'll show you this again as if you just joined us. India, India, Papa. I'm actually not going to go direct to that. I'm going to intercept the airway. Try to save us a little bit of time here. But that'll be our first official waypoint. And then we're going to pick up the Victor 547. We've been on that. It's been good to us. Victor 547. And that's going to take us down to Hawkzoo. I think that's how you say that. And then we're going to stay on the Victor 547. To Cheyenne. And then from Cheyenne, then we're going to, ATC is going to give us front range. So, very nice of him. K. F. I could spell. Tango Golf. And we'll just we'll pick up a pop-up IFR as we are en route. Okay, I think that looks good. Taxi lights can come on. Normal, and then oops, that's cabin lights. What am I doing here? I don't want the pulse lights. Oh yeah, I guess landing lights are pulse. That's right, I forgot. Kind of a weird thing, but kind of cool at the same time. Flaps are set. Prop lever and condition lever full forward. Here we go. Wish us luck. 3,000 feet to glory. Airspeed's alive. Over torquing it a little bit. There's rotation speed. And we're off. And cinematic. Looks not half bad. I mean, there wasn't a lot to it, I'm going to be honest with you, but still kind of fun. Oops, I forgot to set the CDI. There we we go. We are not going to go direct to our first waypoints. See if I can get this turned around here. I want to head south. I'm going to have to do a little bit of messing around. Whoa, boy. What's going on there? Let's get that nose up a little bit here. Vertical speed mode. You can tell I don't use this autopilot very often because I'm a little bit, well, not great with it. All right, so we need to. Actually, I'm gonna. Boy, let's get the heading set. I got to get myself to where I'm going to climb over the top of these mountains before I do anything. I need 9,000. I just can't read that. That's my other problem. Is I've got these old eyes. 8,500, 9,000. Vertical speed mode. Let's get the nose heading up, please. How about 800? That'll work. And okay, we don't want direct IIP. We're actually going to go direct Poldy. I'm going to activate that. And okay, there we go. Why is it telling me I'm going east? If I go direct Poldy, that's weird. It's telling me I need to turn east. Okay, well, oh, I know why. Because Poldy is. So I actually want to go direct Haksu. Let me put that back on heading mode here real fast. Let's go back to our flight plan. Haksu is where I want to go direct to. That'll cut the corner a little bit for us. There we go. That's more like it. All right, I'll give you a visual of what just transpired there. I know it's tough to see looking at the PFD, but basically we departed pretty well to the east, and then I was trying to turn south to cut this corner and go to Haksu, but I went direct Poldy instead, so it was wanting to take me back to the east to intercept here. But really, I probably could have put an yeah, I probably could have intercepted that. That's okay. We're going to Haksu, and then from Haksu we'll jump down here to Cheyenne, and we'll be good to go. So okay, in the meantime, chat. Yeah, that was something there, but we're airborne, we're rolling, life is good. All my friends are here. I've got my Blizzard. Life is good. $14 hours. That's a serious day, my friend. Holy cow. Uh-oh. Frame rate warning again. Yeah, you guys are kind of on the like ground zero for two storms that are coming together. We've missed kind of both of them. Well, I shouldn't say we've missed both of them. There's one kind of out California west coast that's picking up some steam, and then there's another one that's down hammering Texas. They're supposed to come together kind of yeah, your neck of the woods around Minneapolis is what they say, which is perfect timing for the event that they have coming up, that deep freeze event. So what did you miss? Well, you missed me making a mediocre landing at Wagon Hound, but fortunately the scenery was so gorgeous that nobody noticed. And then you missed again a fairly sketchy departure because I was trying to do about 5 things at once. and that didn't go very well. But I'm bringing it back to cruise power now, and we're on our way back to Front Range. I'm looking to pick up a pop-up IFR here with Denver Center, so I need to go back to 135.60. All right.
Clear to land. I'm pretty sure it said it already.
Where are we? We're south of...
Southwest 5330, contact Salt Lake approach. Correction, Salt Lake Center 120.27.
See if I can get a word in edgewise here.
Southwest 5330, contact Salt Lake approach. Correction, Salt Lake Center 120.27.
120.27, Southwest 5330. Have yourself a good night.
I will.
Give him a second, make sure I'm not stepping on anybody.
That was cute. Delta 170 over here on the ground at Denver. I'm going to be ready home short of runway 25.
Appreciate the compliment, I guess. Delta 170, Denver Center, runway 25 cleared for takeoff.
Been one of those nights, if you know what I mean.
Runway 25 clear for takeoff, Delta 170.
Denver Center, Kodiak 11816.
Oh no, it's you again. Kodiak 11816, Denver Center, what can I help you with?
Yes, sir. Just south of the Hipshire VOR. Like to pick up IFR clearance to Front Range.
November 11816, squawk 1427, and ident.
1427 ident, Kodiak 816. All right. I don't want that guy. I want this guy. Transponder code 1427 ident. I don't know if that actually did anything, so I'll do that on my X-Pilot as well. You never quite know if that ident works on the pilot client.
11816, you radar contact 60 miles north of Laramie, 9,000. When able, clear direct Hoxu intersection.
When able, clear direct Hoxu intersection, Kodiak 816. All right, so that I can do. Flight plan. Oh, that's where we're going.
16, run, or excuse me, you cleared to Front Range via direct Hoxu, then it's filed, maintain 9,000.
Direct Hoxu then is filed, and we'll maintain 9,000, Kodiak 816. Thanks. All right, very good, very good. So, all right, hipster. Rocking the hip. Yeah, I'll keep wanting to call it hipster, hipsher. I don't know. I'm not hip enough to be a hipster, so maybe if you called me a hipsher, that would be more appropriate.
Top climb at 8,000, Delta 170.
Sorry, I completely caught me off guard. Delta 170, your radar contact.
Roger, Delta 170. We get that effect on people sometimes.
Yeah, I completely went past me that one.
Not near as sporty looking with the old cargo pod on there, especially with the Tundra tires. But it's a fun plane. No question about it. Okay, so pretty straightforward. We've got, looks like 25 miles or so to Hoxu, and then from Hoxu down pretty well straight south. We go to Cheyenne, and then we're down to Front Range just like that. Wouldn't hurt us to take a peek here at the Front Range ATIS. continue to not be able to spell front range. FTG, Fox Tango Golf. Winds 280 at 3, so maybe we'll be landing the other way this time. Front range had that kind of that east-west orientation. Yeah, 8 and 3/5. Wait.
Delta 170 traffic, no factor. You can climb via the SID. Sorry about that.
Yeah, 2, 6, and 8. So I'll probably be getting runway 26 here. Unless the winds change around. They're pretty light, so I honestly don't think that it matters either way. But right pattern to runway 8 or 3/5. So that's coming here. No. Right pattern would be coming around here or here to 3/5. Okay. Which would make left pattern to runway 26 if we needed that. Clear as mud. I think we're good to go here. All right, so yep, what's going on? Welcome to the second half of the stream. Hello, propeller heads. Happy Thursday. It's been a good day. Well, work is work sometimes, if you know what I mean. And but it's been a good way to finish the day, especially with the blizzard. I will mute my mic as I munch and crunch on the M&Ms. Just, I know you like full immersion, but that's maybe over the top.
Denver Center, Solaris 2051 with you at flight level 350.
Polaris 2051, Denver Center, roger.
Kenny Monster mentioned it's been a busy day. Yep, I see now Bill Forley's stepped in there, Mr. Pilot Edge himself. 4 Lima X-ray, Echo. Turbinator 97, man, everybody's flying the FlyJSim 732 today. About the third guy that I know that's been in that plane. Of course, that's probably why they're on my follow list, because anytime I see somebody flying one of those vintage birds, I tend to follow them.
Oh, just all United 735. I know where you live. Let me back.
I didn't hear a single thing that guy just said. You guys talk too fast for this old guy, Yahtzee, but I do enjoy when you're working the center, man. It's always fun down here. Now I understand why. Well, it's working. I don't know if it's working for them, but it's working for me. You do a nice job down here. Like I said, I appreciate it. It's a ton of fun. I kind of consider this my home airspace, even though I live in Wyoming. But it's it's a choice between Denver and Salt Lake Center, and there is no comparison, I don't think. Anyway, but fastest handoff of the century. Yeah.
Denver Center, good evening, United 2051 with you, flight level 370.
United 2051, Denver Center, roger. Just be advised of a similar call sign, Polaris 2051.
United 2051, roger.
Polaris 2051, just be advised, similar call sign, United 2051.
Roger, Solaris 2051.
Yep, and my home airport is actually in Salt Lake center area too, right on the border. So, and they're good guys as well. They just don't provide the coverage that you guys do. I mean, they're just not online as much. So I tend to fly east. How many M&Ms? That's a good question, Downwind. I don't know. I'm scarfing it down too fast to count. There were at least 10 in that bite. It's one of those. 3. That's the right answer. Or 2, yeah. Well, it's too bad Titanium Druid logged out. He could be a part of this festivities here, this craziness. He was having a food coma though. Downwind Sim's so old, he watched that old commercial in black and white. I was so poor that my dad told me black and white was color. Yes, we did, man. That was a true value judgment you had to make. How bad did you want to surf the channels? Both channels in our house. We actually had to get out. Not only did we have to change the channel, but we had to go outside and twist around. We had these this big, I don't even know what type of antenna it was, but it stood up about 20 foot high, and we would have to twist it and aim it at the other station. We had a station in Casper and a station in Cheyenne, and we had to aim it at just the right spot. And if we were really, really good on a clear night, we could get a little bit of color from the Casper station, but oh my goodness. See, Yahtzee, you're what I keep telling people about, that lament the upcoming generation. I'm like, don't worry, guys. They got it going on. They know what's up. I'm a middle school principal. I've been a coach and a teacher, an educator my whole life, and I keep telling them, the young folks coming, man, they're studs. They'll take care of us, and little things like that, Yahtzee. The fact that you know the old Tootsie Roll owl commercial, that's just proof right there. Kenny Monster's depressed.
Frontier Flight 770 reroute, advise ready to copy.
Oh man.
Go ahead for Frontier Flight 770.
Frontier Flight 770, you cleared to Denver via direct Wolf intersection to join the Teller 2 arrival.
Alright, direct Wolf and then the Teller 2 arrival for Frontier Flight 770.
Frontier Flight 770, read back correct.
Yeah, I feel lucky to have grown up on Schoolhouse Rocks and Bugs Bunny, and I didn't have it so bad. I would not have wanted to be a student in today's day and age, though. I think kids today have it incredibly difficult. The world that we live in, the things that they can be exposed to, it's unbelievable. And I tip my hat to the students of today. Flying with Orville and Wilbur. Old Kitty Hawk International.
United 2051, you cleared to Denver via direct Hayden via Warren to join the French 3 arrival.
Didn't one of the flight sims actually make a right flyer at one point in time?
2051, readback correct.
I bet that thing was a joy to fly at 6 miles an hour or whatever it flew. Laying on your belly.
Delta 170 air is level at flight level 230.
Delta 170, climbing 10, flight level 320, sorry about that.
I'm in Tampa level 320, Delta 170.
I mean, the concept is cool, don't get me wrong. And I appreciate a low and slow flight as much as the next guy. But I'm just saying.
Number 37 Golf, clear of the Denver class Bravo, safety intentions.
I think the whole idea of having the elevators in the front of the aircraft.
I know, but what would you like to do? You want to cancel your radar service?
Some weird wacky stuff.
5937 Golf. Yeah, let's go ahead and cancel radar service.
Okay, November 37 Golf, squawk and maintain via
Got
bar,
that right,
radar
Mike.
service is terminated, frequency change approved, remain clear of the Denver class Bravo airspace.
Okay, so we are, by the way, on our way down to Cheyenne. I can get my range thing flipped out here, and then Cheyenne will be heading on down. The next stop will be Front Range.
829, ready to go.
We're tentatively scheduling runway 28.
Delta 98,
26.
29 Denver Center, runway 25, clear
We
for
have
takeoff,
an airport elevation of 5,453 feet.
Frontier Flight 770, descend
Downwind.
via the
How did I know
Denver
you had that
3002.
in your archives? By the way, Downwind, have you seen the movie 1917 yet?
United 2051, descend via the French 3, arrival Denver altimeter 3002.
Descend via French 3, arrival 3002, United 2051.
So I would say it is good. I went to watch it. Storyline is solid. It's kind of like Private Ryan in reverse, where instead of a small group going to save a single brother, it's sort of like one person heading out to save a group. But anyway, it's not about that, which is, like I say, solid story, very good acting. But I think what you would appreciate is the cinematography. And I'm trying to remember what it's called in the business. You probably have a term for this. Is it called single sequence? When they shoot the entire movie and essentially don't ever take breaks for scenes? Is that what that's called? Or what is that called, I guess? Continuous sequence or single sequence or something? Anyway, that was probably the thing that caught my eye the most was, yeah, very, very challenging thing to do. It really only had, I mean, I know it had more than one scene. There's ways to kind of do that, but, or no, it definitely wasn't a lack of editing, because there was some freaking CGI and special effects that were incredible. But there was really only one distinct break in the movie at about halfway where he's knocked unconscious. The main character is knocked unconscious, and there's about 30 seconds of black screen while he comes to. So in a sense, I mean, that spanned a good, well, most of the night basically. But the movie took 2 hours, and that was kind of the storyline, was approximately 2 hours. Hey, looky there. Well, there we are, right on track. That's a good thing.
Delta 9829 Denver
We
Center,
are
route
visible
5
by,
flight level 340 near radar contact.
Ooh, I do have to move up to 10,000 feet? Okay. Well, I will comply if that's what's needed. But anyway, triangle to the left. Okay, well, Yeah, if you need me to go up, Yatsy, say the word, man. I'm here to comply. But I just thought partly about how challenging that was, but just about somebody like you that does that kind of stuff for a living. I think you might have a different appreciation for what already was a solid flick. I mean, a good war movie. I liked it better actually than Midway, which had more aviation in it, and that was kind of, you know, the historical perspective was kind of cool there. Okay, Yatsy, yep. Got you, man. But I felt like like I said, the storyline was just a little bit better, I thought.
788, you're leaving my airspace to the east.
And both were, you know, both were true stories, historical nonfiction, essentially, you know, with a slight embellishment here and there, but World War II versus World War I also. But yeah, just kind of the craziness and the futility of the trench warfare of World War I. Pretty incredible. All right, looks like we are closing in about 26 miles to Cheyenne. Beyond that, sorry, 24.
Number 816 Cheyenne, altimeter 3000.
3000, November 11816. Okay, let's make that correction here. So about a total of 86 nautical miles to go until we're back home. So I feel a little bit bad for my wife. She loves movies. That's her thing, her number one thing. But she is much more into like the suspense sort of drama, kind of, you know, romantic comedy sometimes too, you know, that type of thing. But the only the only movies I'll go to are war movies. I don't know. So she comes along with me. That was our hot date last week. All right, still in the state of Wyoming, and how can you tell? If you're watching the stream early on, you will know the answer to this. How do you know? Hello, Mrs. Stranda. How do you know, Mrs. Stranda, that we're still in Wyoming and not Colorado? I'll leave that question out there for anyone in the chat. Go ahead. Yatsy was paying attention again. Oh, well, he's using his radar. Okay, I will also accept that as a correct answer. But there's another way that you could know. Blue is the state line. Okay, you got me there. I wonder if I can use that as my... I think I'm going to use that as the thumbnail for my stream archive. Well, I want you to look at the terrain right now, and then when I cross that magical blue line,
Plate 770, when you're able to get that information,
you'll be able to see the major difference. Yep, Mrs. Stranda, she's looking. She's trying to remember. Who's she sponsored by the way? Is she wearing a Nike t-shirt? X-Plane t-shirt. Ah, look at that. Shameless plug. Well done, Thoranda. And then this guy here has a Quest hat on. Whoops. I get out there. Yep, very nice. Kodiak Quest hat. All right, very good, very good. It is kind of cool. I like it. I mean, yeah, I think it adds a little something to it.
Denver 1613 checking in.
1613, Unicom 22A, sorry about that, see you.
Now, bad news, everybody.
Yep.
That's the end of the blizzard.
Denver 1613 checking in.
Okay. Well,
Stop.
something we didn't do early on. We got a little bit of time. Let's do this real quick. Fantastic map. Really good coverage here, of course, all night long from the Denver Center. Of course, I was bad-mouthing Salt Lake, and they're on. So anything here, Salt Lake, Seattle, Vancouver, it's all good tonight here on the Mountain West and the West Coast. Winnipeg is live and rocking and rolling. Toronto, Montreal. Had a lot of good Canadian coverage here lately. That's been awesome. Some stuff down here, Mexico, Central America. This is Atlanta, Boston going. So really nice coverage for a Thursday evening in the United States and kind of Central America. There's a typical South American ATC. We are going to fly to Ecuador, by the way, in an upcoming historic routes tour with the DC-8. Going to do some fine air flying. Not much happening in Africa, Europe, or Asia, although a little bit of stuff going on here over Vietnam, and some oceanic, and some action down here in Australia. Sorry, I'm trying to choke on one last M&M. So that's cool to see. And yeah, so actually quite a bit going on tonight. Appreciate all the air traffic controllers for making this such a really cool experience. We get more blizzard on Saturday. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. I got to figure out a way to do double time on Saturday.
Flight 770 after Teller, cleared ILS runway 35 left.
If I'm not mistaken, I might be double booked here because I did want to fly. I did want to fly up to the Minnesota one as well. Yeah, I have that for the Captain Sim 737-200, but I'm going to do your event as well. So it'll be a busy day of flight simming in the Melvin Leroy household. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. Yours is earlier, I believe, right? Either way, I'm going to do them both. Okay, Cheyenne, 4 miles to Cheyenne, and yep, there's the city limits. Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, so Kenny, there is Operation Deep Freeze, I think is what they're calling it, and it's kind of like a Saturday evening fly-in. They're anticipating big weather. And then the Virtual USA Flying Club has a little something going on earlier in the day out in the New York area, and they're unfortunately also expecting big weather. But I actually like that, Mike. I think that's smart, especially on a weekend when there are many things going on. I hate that when you have to choose between two events. So it's You know, on a weekend you would think there's a little more time to mess with. You know, so you can schedule maybe stuff on the East Coast a little earlier in the day, save the West Coast stuff for a little bit later on. I would think he's been promoting it, Kenny Monster, so I would almost be shocked if he wasn't streaming. All right, final little adjustment as we head down to Front Range Airport. Just another 86 miles or something like that is kind of what they're showing.
United 2051 has Alpha.
Cool.
Yep, about 85 now. Ticking away slowly but surely. Did I return my...
Lovely.
Did not. Landing taxi lights could have came off a long time ago, guys. I've not done a good job of following my checklist to the book.
Denver Sounder, Southwest 640 is holding short of 34 right, ready to go.
Southwest 640, roger, running 34 right, clear for takeoff, let's call.
Clear for takeoff, 34 right, let's call Southwest 640.
See if I can find my old house in Cheyenne.
United 2051, continue descending via the arrival across Hemon.
Yep, there it is.
1000, cleared RNS, Zulu, runway 34 right approach.
Actually lived right across the street from the Wyoming State Capitol. Oh, there's a... I didn't know there was a contest going on. Wow. I'll bring my A game. Because the last fly-in that I did with the virtual USA Flying Club, I ran out of fuel and crashed on the interstate. Oh, random drawing. Hey, that's my best odds. If it's based on skill, then I really don't have much of a chance. I do think I saw that. Make sure, so if you're going to fly in this thing, everybody, if I understand correctly, just make sure you have Virtual USA Flying Club in your remarks, and then Jet Pilot Cinnamon, who's going to be one of the ATC in the area, is going to be keeping track of all that, and yeah, so he'll be the one that draws the winner, and that'll be a cool deal. Yeah, Kenny, I did not glide it in. I did not butter it in. I right properly cartwheeled onto like a 2-lane highway. It was not pretty. Jet Fox, I think, was like the first night I'd met Jet Fox or Black Fox 403, and he was giving me a hard time the whole time. It was awesome. I'm like, I knew right away I was going to like that guy. He was back there talking about my spine or something. It was the second funniest thing I'd heard in terms of that since the Nantucket approach and ground guys were giving me a hard time one time when I was coming in to land, and it was typical Nantucket weather, is weather down to the minimums or maybe even a little bit below, and let's just say they didn't sound like they had a lot of faith in me, and they were texting me things like, can I have your address so I can send your wife flowers and things like that. It was really cool, actually. It kept me relaxed because I just kept laughing and not thinking about ILS approach to minimum, which, by the way,
just making sure,
I did land it and actually did pretty good.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less from you guys, really, truly. If I'm not getting a hard time from you guys, there's something wrong. All right, so still in Wyoming for a little bit. Actually, we might be in Colorado right now, and what you're going to probably notice here is quite a bit greener, quite a bit more lush, and then here in just a little bit you're going to see just a ton of farming Circular fields as far as the eye can see. Those low clouds hanging down there. That's pretty cool. That could also be my ortho. I think that's my ortho. Yeah, it's amazing. I went to school in Laramie, which is where the University of Wyoming is. I think it's the highest university elevation-wise in the lower 48 anyway. 7,220 feet. Anyway, the winters get kind of long up there, needless to say. And so when we got tired of freezing our backsides off, we would drive literally an hour down the highway to Fort Collins. Fort Collins, Colorado is like night and day. We would leave Laramie. It would be maybe 10 above with wind chill, maybe below 0. That's pretty stinking cool, man. But we'd get down to Fort Collins and it'd be 60 degrees. Microsoft FS 2004. That's pretty amazing. I think you got fleeced on the price though, man. I mean, that was that's 16 years ago. That should have only cost like 2 bits back then, right? $54.99. Did you buy that in some backwoods St. Louis software, illegal software vendor or something?
United 914, read back correct. I have a choice, either 3-4 right or runway 8 for departure. What would you like?
That's pretty awesome.
Let's take 3-4
So
right.
standard pricing.
United 914, you can expect that.
Man, they were taking advantage of us even back then. Alright, so since I'm practicing using the glass, let's actually put in an approach here. ILS 26 I think is what we want. And I'm going to say vectors. And we're going to load it. Okay, so we're loaded. There it is. We'll be ready to activate it here in just a little bit, but whoops, sorry. But I do want to see if I remember how to fly an ILS approach using the G1000 because it's been a while. No, I can vaguely remember that downwind. I don't think I bought that one though because I don't remember that whole Century of Flight thing. But I think one of the, maybe the release right before that might have been the first one I owned. We had a copy of something at school that was based on a fighter jet. It wasn't flight sim. It was just some dogfight or something, and you actually took off from a wire-framed aircraft carrier, and you actually had AI enemies that would chase you, and you would chase them and try to shoot them down. And at the time, I remember thinking how freaking cool it was. Man, it can't get any more realistic than this. Back in '87 or something like that. The best sim I flew back in those days, though, was the X-Plane, or the X-Wing, the Star Wars X-Wing game. That was some fantastic stuff right there. I spent a lot of time in the old X-Wing chasing TIE fighters, trying to blow those TIE fighters and those Star Destroyers up and all that good stuff. Shifting my shields, from front to back just to be safe. And there was a game called Load Runner. I don't know if you ever heard of Load Runner. All right, here we go. If you look out your 12 o'clock, you'll see all those crop circles that I'm talking about. And I don't mean the extraterrestrial kind. I mean the old center pivot irrigation circles. They are all over the state of Colorado. Man, do they have access to water. How do I know that? A lot of it comes from Wyoming.
Denver Center, November 8029 Bravo at Blanding Municipal. Question
Although
flight following to Glenwood
the
Springs.
bulk of it comes from there on the right side of Mrs. Thranda. Those Rocky Mountains.
Number 8029 Bravo, first get airborne so I can get you on my radar.
All right, so just briefing the arrival again. If we're ILS 26, let's see, ILS 26.
Roger, Center 8029.
Should do an RNAV since I'm RNAV capable.
Winds calm, runway 34 right, clear to land.
They're going to take me down to between 8,000 and 7,200.
8029 Bravo, also just so you know, I'm about to log off here in about 5 or so minutes. Just as
1093, 263 is the course heading.
Roger that.
May lose our center here before we get there, but I think we know what we're doing if he has to head out. Uh-oh, another find from the vault. Oh, yes! No way!
770, welcome to Denver. Take a left
No way. Oh my goodness. I could have had my commercial license if that was a thing for X-Wing. Yes. Oh my goodness. Mr. Downwind Sim. I can't wait to see what your museum looks like, by the way. That's phenomenal. Museum of Flight Sim. You know, we have the Smithsonian Museum of Flight, the Downwind Sim Museum of Flight Sim. Having all the states out there cut back on irrigation because it's depleting the aquifers in Lake Mead. I think the guys west of the Rocky Mountains have had to do that, yes. But I don't know if it's just because we don't have as much population on the east side, or if the folks east of the Rocky Mountains have just been a little bit more conservative or better in their estimation of water, or maybe we just have more water available. I don't know. But we have not. Water rights. It's a big fight. There's no way around it, and everybody wants more, and nobody has enough, and yada yada yada. But we haven't had the same aquifer problem as they've had, like you say, out by Lake Mead.
Actually, just correct. Flight 770, monitor ground, 0.85. They'll call you if they need you.
185 for Frontier Flight 770.
Yeah, you know, it's a tricky thing because the water that collects in the mountains of Wyoming is actually belonged or owned by
Denver Center is closing upon the arrival of United 2051.
Aw, man. Come on. Come on, Yahtzee.
You should just pause.
Thinking maybe a couple of go-rounds are in order.
That sounds good.
Anyway, the mountains of Wyoming, the snow up there is owned by the state of Nebraska.
No, you can't go to bed. Sorry.
And it's just funny how that works, man. There's a lot of water that flows right by my house that can't be used because it's got to make it out there to water the cows in Nebraska. So, but that's part of it. Well, So that answers that question, by the way. 2051 is on short final, and we are most definitely not. So, but I understand. He's been on for a while because he's been on as long as we have. So he's been on every bit of 3 hours. Yeah, I understand, young fella. You need your sleep. 18-year-olds got to sleep 26 hours a day or something like that. I read that somewhere. So that's okay, man. We'll catch you next time. I still love you.
United 2051, welcome to Denver. Take a right when able. Taxi via Foxtrot, Short Whiskey Charlie, ground point 85.
Foxtrot, Short Whiskey Charlie, ground point 85. Thanks for ATC for United 2051.
He's out. I was surprised it can go around.
Yeah, it was totally stable on that approach.
Thank God.
If he'd have gone around, I'd have had a shot at having some control coming into front range, but that's okay. Well, Yahtzee, stop by anytime, man.
2829 radar service, the terminated frequency change approved. Good day.
Virtual GAA is back. Awesome.
Southwest 640,
Good to
radar
see you
service,
again.
terminated frequency change approved. Good day.
Hey, thanks for the help.
Welcome to Colorado.
Polaris 2051 radar
We're attempting to make it into Front Range Airport here.
Have a good one. Thanks for the service.
Sans ATC. He's had enough of us.
1816. Your stream was a pleasure to watch. Radar service terminated frequency change approved. Good day.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate the ATC. We'll see you next time, 816.
See you later. Attention all aircraft Denver Center is now closed. Further common traffic advisory frequency is 122.8 from here on out within the boundaries of Denver and the Denver.
Oh, well, there you go.
Have a good day.
Virtual GAA took care of that. Yep, yeah. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, my friend, is kind of the normal schedule. Every now and again we will pop in and mess around if there's an event going on, but yeah. Have a good night, Yahtzee. Great job tonight, by the way. You made it a lot of fun, did a great job. Sleep well. Okay, so let's see. We're looking at 40 miles. We are going to just vector ourselves in, by the way, runway 26, and it should be pretty straightforward. We're kind of coming in almost directly north. We'll just make left traffic, and or sorry, right traffic. Oh, very cool. So let's check out. You know what we'll do is this, virtual GA. Let me see if I can figure out. I gotta figure out how to find you now. And we'll crash your party when I'm done here. So I'll. All right. It's fun, isn't it? I mean, it's a good time. Virtual GAA. I think I got you. Yes, I do. So you got a nice blue, pretty blue Skyhawk as your profile picture. I just followed you, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to watching what you do, man. Another propeller head. Can't get enough of us. Yes, this is true. Sad but true. I make the mistakes so you don't have to make them. And it gets especially sketchy when I fly slant Gulf or slant Lima. There's just a lot of stuff that you got to manage, and I don't always do such a great job, but I do have fun regardless. And it's mainly because of the good group of people that are able to pop in and chit chat with us. So I think I'm going to plan at about, I don't know what the official, I should have asked Yahtzee before he left. I'm thinking at about 10 miles, I need to make that turn. And if anyone here, by the way, in the stream chat is an ATC, does that sound about right to kind of vector myself? Uh-oh, I'm getting a beeping sound here. Am I out of fuel? Why am I seeing what? Why am I getting that? Oh. That can't be good. Oh. Is that like an outer marker? Is that what I was getting there? Maybe I have something tuned in here that I don't need. That's what that was, an outer marker alert. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put in 1093. I must have had something funny tuned in here and I was picking up a outer marker alert. I'm going to put that in. That's the localizer frequency. 263, and so here's how you have to do this. It's kind of funky. I'm going to get my heading set here. I'll go to heading mode just for a second. Flip the CDI to localizer, and actually I don't think, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't think I have to do this, but just in case, I'm going to spin this around to 263. Maybe. Oh, it won't let me hold it down, unfortunately. All right, 263. That'll give me my runway orientation, the heading, approach course, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, we're essentially flying right in midfield. So, all right, those are set. Let's go back to my CDI, put it back in GPS mode, make our little correction, because I'm sure we drifted a little bit here. But again, when we're 28.5 miles, I think when we get to 10 miles is when I'm gonna vector myself on the right downwind. Yeah, virtual GAA. You need to definitely get connected with the Virtual USA Flying Club, because you would really enjoy. They actually have an event coming up on Saturday over there in the New York area that should be a ton of fun. Yep, very cool. Good group, good group. And actually, you can scroll up and down here, Virtual GA. All these guys are quality folks and good people to hang out with. Speaking of fuel, I do think I had planned about, yeah, we're getting down there. I had over 4 hours of fuel when we set out from Front Range earlier, so I wasn't too worried. It wasn't super windy, but I was curious a little bit. We're fighting the wind a little bit on the way back. It's not, you know, that was the same tailwind we had on the ride up, so all that stuff kind of tends to balance itself out. But all in all, I think I've remembered the vast majority of all this glass panel stuff. And it's fun in its own way. Much different than flying VOR to VOR. But, you know, kind of like when we hop in one of those vintage aircraft, vintage airlines, I mean, you know, sometimes it's fun to do that. Even if propeller driven craft are kind of your main thing, like they are for me. I don't mind a little variety. Now, my bank account doesn't particularly like the variety, but yeah. So for those of you that joined us a little bit later on, again, tonight's flight was just about showing off the versatility of this this awesome aircraft, the Kodiak Quest. The ability to take off from an airspace like Denver and fly up to a little off the beaten path turf airstrip in Wyoming and back. I mean, there's just not a lot of airplanes that do that as well as the Cody, and haul about 1,000 kilograms worth of stuff in the meantime. What do we have in the back, by the way? Do we have anything back here? Oh no, the cargo stuff is all underneath, I believe. Yeah, this is all just seating. So yeah, you haul, take 8 people and all their stuff, clear up the mountain. Do it with the turbine engine and 3 G1000s. Full anti-ice. I mean, all that stuff is just pretty spectacular. I did not set my backup altimeter, did I? 3000. Let's see, what else do I need to... Here's my flight hours. Like I said, I don't have a lot. I'm just over 16 hours in this plane. So that's been pretty cool. I don't know how to set this, but maybe it doesn't set. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have shown you that. All right, 13 miles, everybody. Probably should switch over to Unicom here, just in case. I don't know if there's anybody else down there or if it's just us. Front range, yep, nobody but us chickens, as Downwind Sim would say. Yeah, I don't know. Is there an answer to that question? I would say right now, I've been in the Cessna 152 a lot, just because I started a little bit of a different series and then flew in our last Bush League event in that. But boy, that's a good question. It really is. I've been described as the ADHD of flight sim, because I am all over the map. I really am. I'm currently obsessed with the FlyJSim 727-200, but I also have been flying the DC-8 over in P3D quite a bit, just because I've been doing a little bit of a series. And so anyway, oh gosh, I've got inside of 10 miles, so I'm gonna make this turn. I think I'm okay. My favorite aircraft, I can't answer that, is the Beechcraft Duke 60. It's a twin engine, just gorgeous airplane. I love it, and I love it, and I love it, and it's my favorite still. But I don't fly it the most. I don't know why, I just don't. But I have it coming up a couple times, I noticed in January on a couple of shows, so that'll be fun. But now that I'm moving more, I'm flying more in X-Plane than I am in P3D anymore, so There's a lot of fun aircraft. I like I'm in the DC-3 a lot. I'm in the Bush mod for the 170 a lot. I've got a Piper Turbo Aero. I flew a couple times this week already. Front range traffic, Kodiak 11816 on the right downwind, runway 26 front range. Well, I don't know if it's that again, because I don't do anything very well. That's the thing is, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. That's really my name. My name really could be Jack. That could be the name of this stream. But yeah, I just I see shiny things and I go toward them. And then I have friends like Downwind Sim that are like, "Oh, hey, try out this new sim called X-Plane. I think you might like it." And he knew full well what that would do to me. Yeah. So there's just so many airplanes and so little time, right? Okay, I'm going to use the radar a little bit here because I don't have ATC. Here we are, front range. So I actually can do this now. I can activate my final. So let's go back to the PFD to do that. I'm going to come down to processes, procedures even, and I'm going to activate vectors to final because that's currently what I'm doing. And I'm going to flip this guy over to CDI, and lovely, it's changed. Why has it changed? I don't know. Shouldn't have done that for me. It should have left it at 263. Oh, which it is, duh, because I'm on the downwind. And 113.10, though that's not right. 109.3, that is right. Okay, oh, that's what I had. That's standby frequency. Sorry, that's what's active right now. So yeah, I think we're good. I do need to get myself down to 8,000, actually 7,200. So let's do that right now while we're fiddling around on the downwind. Vertical speed, we'll pop the nose down about 500 foot a minute. The epic victory. Yeah. Single engine. That's what they have. That's the default one, right? Jet Pilot, and there's a mod for that. Isn't there? Am I talking about the right one here? By Aerobask. Oh, default's a Cirrus jet. Okay. So I do have an Embraer Phenom 300 in P3D that's an awful lot of fun also. Oh, it's smaller than the Cirrus jet. Okay. All right. So, boy, I should have like. Is this it right here? This must be it. This little magenta line. So I'm gonna take it out a little bit further. Yeah. The biz jets are fun. They are fun. I mean, it's a whole different type of GA flying, but man, you can get places fast. It's the opposite of low and slow. Yeah, there's something cool to be, cleared to flight level 410. I'm about I gotta say I'm a good 5 minutes out, Kenny. Yeah. Are you still with FSX then, virtual GA, or have you jumped over to P3D or X-Plane? Or I was an FSX guy myself. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I did not have too many bad things to say, other than it got to the point where I was freezing up and crashing too much. I just had too many add-ons. Okay, I do want to get my speed down here, by the way. I'd like to get down into flaps range before I make that base turn. And I know I'm taking myself out quite a ways here, probably a little further than I need to, but that's all right. All right, localizer flipped over. Front range traffic, Kodiak 816, right base runway 26, Kodiak. Front range. And I just lost my localizer, so yep, I have officially taken it a little too far on the downwind. That's okay. Here's what I think I'm going to do then. Instead of turning a strict base, I think I'm going to cut the corner here and go to about 210. Okay, so Citation X, yep, that's a good one. Now you fly X-plane. Yeah, salivating for Flight Sim 2020. There's a lot of good biz jets out there. Really are. Okay, here we go. There's 110. I'm gonna toss a notch of flaps in here just to kind of have things under control. Keep our speed right about here. There comes the localizer again, so we are good to go there. And I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach. All right, localizer, glide slopes, both of those are armed. I probably could have, nope, the glide slope is in, so I'm okay to arm right here. All right, so we'll keep it on course and just let things happen. So my goal, virtual GA, really when I made the move to X-plane, which by the way, I've enjoyed immensely, and Downwind Sim was right. I did enjoy it. I have enjoyed it, and it's in many ways it's a superior sim to P3D. So I've told him that many times. But what I've tried to do, because I had quite a few add-ons from my FSX days that moved to P3D, and then I added a few more when I went to P3D, and so, you know, I'm not ready to give those up yet. My P3D still works well, and it's fun, and but what I've tried to do as I've moved into X-plane is, instead of reinventing the wheel, is I've picked up different aircraft that I thought were interesting that I didn't add on to the P3D world. So for example, I know they have a Duke 60 in X-plane, but I think what I'll probably end up doing is picking up like the Diamond DA 62 or something like that, which is very similar, but a little different, you know. And so and same thing with like business jets. So you know, something like that Aerobasque might be interesting to check out, since you know, there's no need in looking for a Phenom, because I've got that already in P3D. I like the Citation also. A friend of ours, Slan Alpha Adventures, flies that Citation, and that looks an awful lot like an awful lot of fun as well. So, you know, there's several options out there. But I need to, you know, the other thing that you try to preach is being content. And I just read a Bible verse about that. Don't be someone who covets money and is a slave to money. And, you know, so, yeah, if you just want more, you can get caught up in that, and you never get enough. And Flight Sim is notoriously bad for that, because there's always the next best thing that's coming. And so, you know, I feel very, very blessed to have what I have, and so it's you know, it's not wrong to save and do it the right way too, which is I think what most of us do. We put put our pennies away, or we work the extra shift, or we do the extra job, or whatever. And that's funded my X-Plane. Is a second job on the side, and but we also have, you may be like me, I've got 2 kids in college, and you got to make sure you're taking care of that kind of stuff first. And so anyway, enough preaching. I'm stalling basically because I'm way too far out. I took this vectoring thing to the extreme, and as you can see, we still have a little ways to go before we intercept right there, and then on and in we go. It's hard to see with the Class Bravo little boundary areas where exactly we're going, but we're going right in here. There's Front Range. There's that crazy north-south runway, and then we're landing on the east-west. That's just right there between the K and the F. And yeah, we're just going to see how well this intercepts the localizer and the glide slope, and see how much S-turning we do. Sun's in your eyes. Yeah, I can do that for you, my friend. There. Is that better? I think you can even, yeah, you can even adjust this to the side, and yeah, it's fancy. Schmancy. You're welcome. Anything for you, Downwind Sim. All right, approach checklist. Taxi landing lights on. I'm gonna make a last altimeter check. Looks like Front Range is calm right now, 3000, so that hasn't changed. Everything else I think looks good. Our fuel situation, I would say, getting a little bit more uncomfortable. We're not going to have time to divert to back up to Wagon Hound, that's for sure. Better put this baby down on the first try. The idea I had here on my vector was to do like 10 mile downwind, then a 10 mile ish base, and then intercept the localizer there kind of at Skippy, which is just outside of Skippy. Skippy is the final approach fix at 5 DME, but I thought that's kind of what they tried to do with you, is get you out there about 10 miles, maybe a little more depending on the airplane. But this was plenty far, maybe way too far, let's be honest. So, but we're coming up on it, so here we should start to see that localizer coming down here any minute, and then the glide slope will be sliding in here as well. And with any luck, we'll grab a hold of both of them, and we'll be on the ground here, Front Range, in no time. Be in the FBO in the next 10 minutes, sipping coffee and eating pie that Downwind Sim bought. He buys the first round of pie. Oh, thanks, Virtual G. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's all stuff I've learned from folks like you, folks that have the real world experience, and because I don't. I just try to be a sponge and learn as much as I can. And that's a pretty solid capture right there. That no farting around. So we're looking good. Airspeed's looking good right now. And how far are we here? So 4.7 from, that must be, I don't know what that is, honestly. Yeah, Yeah, from FT 4.2. So FT is, yeah, that's our final approach fix. So we're sitting here about 5 miles. Oh, we got to go past that. So we're about 10 DME. Make that call. Front range traffic, Kodiak 816, 10 mile final, runway 26 front range. Virtual GA is talking about thousands in P3D. Yeah, guilty. But in my defense, most of that came from the years I spent in FSX, and I was just lucky that for the most part, those add-ons, with the exception of PMDG and Active Sky, they all ported over for me. So, you know, I don't want to be wasteful. I want to make sure I'm using everything. I believe I see some runway lights out there, and yes, we are low right now because the glide slope is there, but the glide slope is coming in, which is good. We want 75 knots on the approach. So I'm going to try to anticipate that just a little bit here, because I know we're going to pick up speed once we grab the glide slope and the nose starts to drop. I'm going to go ahead and do prop and condition levers full forward. Pitching up just a little bit, not sure why. Probably because I'm getting a little slow. Alright, and glide slope is acquired, and down we go. I do think we have that outer marker. I don't know how well you can hear that, but there it is. Yep, the beep, beep, beep. We got the outer marker going, and we're on our way down through 6,900. By the way, missed approach if we need it. Climb to 6,100, and then we make a climbing left-hand turn to 7,200 on a 080 heading, and then we would head out to the Falcon VOR and hold. But what I think I will do is I will make a left-hand traffic pattern back to runway 26. Alright, so there we go. We're down 95. Here comes second notch of flaps. We'll see if we can get that speed down. Again, 75 is recommended, but I think anywhere between 70 and 80 is acceptable. By the way, if you do want to send flowers to my wife, my address is 123 Kiss My You Know What Lane. Love you guys. As always, prayers appreciated. There's 87. I think we're established, and I think that the autopilot did its job if I needed it to, if we were in low vis. So I'm going to pop the autopilot off and see if I can screw this approach up. Here we go. Remember, we're on Bush tires on the asphalt, so we already have that to look forward to. I'm slipping below the glide slope a little bit. So I got that going for me. There comes the glide slope. As usual, chat lighting up like a telethon hotline over there. Alright, back on the glide a little better. Final notch of flaps coming in. Ooh, landing lights popping in on me all of a sudden. if that means that, or doesn't mean that the wind is popped up, because it looks like there's some cloud cover that was not there a minute ago. There's the slipping and sliding again. Eesh. Alright, we're going beta. Just to hit just a little bit sideways, I think. Okay, we're down. Welcome to Front Range Airport, just outside of Denver, Colorado, where everybody that doesn't want to fight the DIA lines and high ticket prices go to fly out of. Actually, I think they do have quite a few people that are not necessarily making those big long trips. They fly out of Colorado Springs or they fly out of Front Range. And Downwind Sim predicts 192.5. Kenny Monster is right at negative 103, just because that's the nicest prediction. And in my mind, I actually calculated that mentally, and I would say that was pretty darn close. If it was even that much, it may have been more like down around the negative, 40 something. Really. Oh yeah, Jet Pilot Cinnamon, negative 100. You actually are the winner again, because that's the nicest prediction. You win. Listen, I saw a meme today. It was absolutely 100% true. It was talking about arcades of old, and it said back in our day, arcades had real game, and you didn't win tickets, you won respect. And that's right there what Jet Pilot Cinnamon just had. He just won some respect. You can't put a price tag on that. All right, let's stop here. Let's set the parking brake. Let's it's going to get quiet here in just a second, because I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM, and I'm going to do Alt R, and I'm going to look at the replay. We might as well. We've come this far together, crew. We might as well take a look. See. Yep. That. There we go. That's kind of a nice November 11816 type of picture there. We did have a little bit of a crab angle going, I guess. It wasn't as calm as we were led to believe. That's onward and downward we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Whoa. All right. Is that a nose wheel first landing? Why was it squawking and squeaking so much? That wasn't that bad. Alright. How do I get out of this? Replay mode. Alt-R. Get me out of this thing, Jane. I think I actually did not hit on the main gears first, so I think I actually made contact with the front landing gear first. I cut power just a little too soon and dropped like a rock, which is kind of what I do in this aircraft. So, it's just the way it is. All right, well, I'm not going to make you sit through the shutdown process, but what I am going to do is let you know what's coming up on the stream here later on. So Saturday, as mentioned, we're doing a double shift. We'll be out in the New York City area, and we'll be flying around in the virtual USA Flying Club's GA event, the Bingingham fly-in. It should be a ton of fun. Aircraft to be determined. Almost positive I'll be an X-plane, and yeah, don't know which aircraft yet, however, so stay tuned for that. And then later on Saturday, I'll be popping over to the P3D world, and I will be in the Captain Sim 737-200. We will be participating in Operation Deep Freeze, which is a fly-in event to Minneapolis St. Paul. Coming up on Monday, the following Monday, the 20th, it is there's a Boston virtual event, the Seacoast GA fly-in. I'm going to jump in the Real Air Beechcraft Duke 60, the aforementioned favorite aircraft of the channel, and we'll be flying up there in the Boston area for that. Thursday, then, it's episode 5 of the Carinata 152 Nowhere Fast series. I'm going to be flying from where we left off in the Bush League event to down to Fish Lake, kind of heading back Idaho way, and we're just making our way now to all these airfields that people are nominating and letting me know about, which is really, really cool. And I picked up a couple new ones tonight, so that's fantastic. So if you've got a backcountry airport that I need to check out, man, let me know. Hit me up on the Discord and let me know, because that's what the Nowhere Fast series is all about. It's just going places and seeing things, seeing those little out of the way hot spots that are so super cool that if somebody didn't tell you about them, you wouldn't know. Then next Saturday, a week from this Saturday, we're in the FlyJ Sim 727, and there's a little Mountain Mayhem event going on. So that's kind of what's coming up all the way through this weekend and into next weekend. So hopefully you can tune in again. Normally Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We do have an exception next week, though, the Monday event. So I'm glad you could join us today, and hope you can stop by later on and check us out as well. So let's see. Jet Pilot Cinnamon looks like he posted a link to the event. Yep, that's cool. Make sure you click on that, save that. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. As always, Kenny, Downwind, Jet Pilot, Virtual GA, good to have you in prop culture, man. And then all the way back, even early on, we had a bunch of guys that were able to get here that had to check out a little bit early. Yahtzee, I think Titanium Druid was here a little bit earlier on as well, and anybody else that I may have missed. You guys all know how much fun it is with you guys here, so I really appreciate that. And until next time, I'm going to be looking for you guys on the TCast. Enjoy the rest of your week, and take care. God bless.